Punching Up, a Nintendo podcast, is brought to you by you. If you want to learn how to support our show, go to patreon.com/laststandmedia.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 34 of Punching Up, Last Stand Media's bi-weekly Nintendo podcast. I am Brad Ellis, filling in for Dustin Furman while he's away. But joining me are the other two members of Punching Up, the co-hosts, Micah Moriarty. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Had a productive day so far. You know, got to play some games, got some bananas in the freezer. Things are going pretty well today.
And Gene Park. How you doing, bud?
Good. Just fresh off my first hosting gig in Last Stand Media. Me and David Jaffe would have screwed up my microphone. Talked about God of War, Black Myth Wukong for about a good hour, maybe an hour and a half. So go check that out if your ears are not that sensitive to jacked up microphones.
It's kind of
that's my fault because I can't hear shit actually. My hearing isn't that good. So Jaffe sounded fine to me the whole time, but clearly that's not the case. So.
Next time, if you do it, we need a third party to go in there just to hear it at the beginning.
Yeah, I think we do need like a third or a fourth ear, or literally a third ear. Yeah, to kind of
investigate,
gauge it or whatever. Because here's the thing. I'm fairly immune to loud noises. I can fall asleep during anything. I fall asleep during concerts. Like while I'm in a concert, I'm standing up and I'm falling asleep. You know, I've slept through an 8.3 earthquake.
Oh my God.
An 8.3 earthquake, that's almost a 10, right? The entire building, the piano fell. And I woke up and I was like, oh my God, the piano fell. Why? So my ears are not exactly the most reliable when it comes to gauging intensity.
Damn. Gene, when I was a kid, I used to be able to sleep through earthquakes, like no problem. A bunch of loud noises. But as I've gotten older, not so much. I'm much more sensitive to all that kind of stuff, which is annoying. Like my mom, growing up, when me and my brother would be asleep or something, she'd just like vacuum right next to us. Wouldn't bother us at all. But now I'll be up immediately.
That sucks. Yeah, I'm glad I haven't gotten that trained out of me. I still sleep like a baby.
It's a
43-year-old baby. You know.
Yeah, my brother's like that too. I'm very jealous. Every time on road trips, he could just fall asleep anytime, anywhere. And I never could. It was such a bummer.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I could fall asleep in cars, no problem.
Speaking of the audio with Jaffe, I think it's appropriate, though. If the audio is going to be borked for anybody, Jaffe is the correct pick. He is the most chaotic human on the staff, I would say, or part of us. Micah, you're a close second, but a different type of chaos.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I do want to say still, Gene, you did an excellent job regardless. You know, and the episode still got a lot of positive feedback. So you still did a great job. But next time we will just have like Lockmort, sign in, listen, leave.
Listen in or whatever like that. So, I mean, I also didn't really watch the game or whatever like that. But whatever. This is all inside.
It's okay. Growing pains, man. We'll fuck up and do stuff like that all the time. Hey, at least you haven't lost an episode like many of us have done in our past.
Oh my God.
So don't worry about it. It's going to happen, though. Be careful if you're hosting. Some shit's going to go bad. You're going to forget to hit record one time or something.
Oh, totally. It's definitely going to happen. Absolutely. Yeah. There's one guaranteed thing that's going to happen. It's definitely going to be that.
Oh, yeah. Someone caught me recently. I forgot who noticed that I wasn't recording. It might have been Ben or something, but that good Samaritan, whoever it was on the staff, shout out. All right. Oh, yeah. And Micah, I like your chaos more. Yours is more like playful Looney Tunes chaos to me.
Oh,
very wholesome chaos. You're just like eating weird shit or whatever.
I'm not even sure if it's wholesome, honestly. But...
Oh,
I don't. It's kind of it's
not hurting
chaotic wholesome.
anybody.
It's wholesome as you can get with chaos, I guess. You know.
I feel like Micah would actually be a good fit for Chris's snark tank. Actually,
Yeah.
because
Yeah, that's
they're
true.
budget degenerates there too, and I think Micah would actually slide in pretty nicely there.
Yeah, I've
When you
seen the clips of it. I've never actually watched the show, but whenever I see clips, it's like the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Dude, when you said Chris, Gene, I immediately thought back to when we were setting up Summon Sign, and I could hear your audio for some reason, and you put on that Chris Chan arrest thing,
Oh yeah.
and I recognized it as Chris Chan immediately. You're like dying laughing.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, that happened. Yeah, last week Summon Song with Mr. Happy, and while we were getting set up, Mr. Happy, we were waiting for Mr. Happy. That's right. And I just silently decided to watch the arrest footage of Chris Chan, and then the audio popped up, and I immediately muted because I thought like, oh my god, like I don't want Brad to hear me, watching this. So it was literally like Chris Chan saying like 4 words like duh, 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 and then immediately Brad like clocked it immediately. Like, oh, are you just watching the arrest footage of Chris Chan? I was like, didn't this shit come out like yesterday? Like, how do you like know? How do you like needle drop notice by like on site or it's right there?
Just I don't know. I couldn't imagine how fast Dustin or Chris or Colin would have picked up on that. They love that Chris Chan shit. They're Christorians for sure. They're big time.
Yeah, Christorians. Yeah, I still have to watch the Sacred Symbols segment on that. So, Colin and Chris going back on that. So,
all right. Before we get in the show, everyone, please head on over to patreon.com/standmedia if you would like to support us over there. Get early access to all of our shows and some exclusives. We greatly appreciate it. $5 is the best value. That's the golden tier, in my opinion. That's where you get the most bang for your buck. Please leave us a nice rating on all your podcast services of choice. It'll help us grow. Recently, I saw 4 or 3 of our podcasts were in the top 50 on Apple's podcasts. So we did it. We had Summon Sign on there. We had Duke on there. And we had Sacred Symbols. Yes. Good job. Keep it up, audience. And, oh, yeah. What is it? Shop.store. Or is it lastmancedia.store for our merch? Is that it?
Yeah, laststandmedia.store.
Okay, laststandmedia.store if you want to get some merch over there. Also, if you're going to be in San Diego, please check out the live show we're going to be doing. Sacred vs. Duke coming up very shortly. I'm very excited to see what's going to be. I believe I'll be on the hosting side of things for now, but that's fine with me because I'll try to keep the chaos under control because it's going to get chaotic, but we shall see. All right, let's get a couple warm-up questions from our audience here. We got Caleb Peacock wrote in, yo, dudes, build your 6-man Pokemon team. If you happen to not know 6 Pokemon on a Nintendo podcast, make up names. Thank you. All right, we got to build our Pokemon squad. Who are we going with? Micah. Do you know 6 Pokemon?
I might. I don't like Pokemon very much, right? Here's the thing. I wasn't allowed to have Pokemon as a child because I was a Jehovah's Witness and they were banned. So, and I just kind of missed out on it. But can I name 6? Let's see. Weeping Bell. All right. Yeah. Beedrill. That sounds real.
That's real.
I always like the one that's shaped like a magnet, but I don't know what that one's name is. But he was my favorite as a kid. Dude? I like that one. That's number 3.
Magnetite or something?
It's something like that, but I did really like that one when I was a kid. I remember seeing that one on the cards and being like, "Oh my god, he's a magnet." I'm trying to not just throw out the obvious ones. You know what though? I do really like Charmander.
Yeah, Charmander's sick.
I always like that one. Orange is my favorite color. It still is. All right, that's 4. Well, you got the scary purple one, Gengar.
Yeah, Gengar's top tier.
That's a real thing. I got 5. And you know what? I'm going to throw out, I don't know, give me like Clefairy or something.
Okay.
Because I like
Very
pink.
Nice.
There we go. I did it.
There you go. Look, you did it, Micah.
Fuck you, Redditors.
Way to go. Yeah, you son of a bitch.
The only one I didn't get was the Magnet guy, but otherwise I could name 6.
Magnemite is his name. But that's
sucks.
Just his base form, I think. But yeah, he is literally just a ball with a couple magnets and screws.
Yeah, I always like that.
All right, Gene, 6 Pokemon.
I'm a Pikachu guy.
Cool.
So Pikachu is always every single Pokemon game. I always make sure that he is, I guess, the main character. Because I just always re-roll Ash in every Pokemon game I make. And then Gyarados is usually an old staple.
Yeah.
I usually like to get the Magikarp and make sure that I get a Gyarados. Gyarados is a very early water type, a very strong early water type that you can reliably get every single time. Usually a psychic Pokemon, whatever would be around, and then
Alakazam. What about
probably
him?
Alakazam? Yeah, Alakazam would count. And a Charmander, like whatever. And I would probably use whatever the 3 starters the game would have.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah. So I would probably use those as the filler, and then so yeah, that's what it is. It is usually Pikachu, Gyarados, the 3 starters, and I would focus on those as kind of like the water, fire, and light, and whatever. And the last one will be the whatever legendary is on the cover of the box art. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that whipped cream monster. I like that one.
Sure.
Creamy.
Yeah. Who?
It's the one that's like whipped cream and you eat it. It's like the most cursed Pokemon. It's the one that they eat. I think its name is Alcremie or something. And it's like, what do you mean that you eat it?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Legendary on the box, but yes,
this is fucked up.
It's legendary to me, Gene.
Yeah, this is like soft serve ice cream.
Yeah, and you eat him. Like, what are you telling me? Is it some sort of communion type thing?
Yeah, do they want to get eaten? I don't know, dude.
I don't know.
Maybe they get eaten and like take over your body from the inside or something. Maybe that's why they want it. Like alien or something. I don't know, dude. All right. For me, gotta go with easy number 1 and 2. My favorite Pokemon. Number 1, Snorlax. Get him in there, the big boy. I don't know how powerful he is, but he's fucking cool and I like him. Number 2, Blastoise. Gotta have him. Giant turtle who has fucking water cannons on him. Ridiculous monster. I definitely want a really stupid one. Chandelure. Chandelure is literally Pokemon that's a chandelier. So I would definitely want that idiot. Then I want Gengar. Gengar is just super good. Cool looking Pokemon and also really good. How many do I have? 2 more? How can you not say Charizard? I gotta have Charizard. Charizard is just a legendary Pokemon that everyone loves. Not really legendary, but he's a badass Pokemon that everyone loves. And where's one of the 3 birds? Articuno? No, Zapdos, I think, is one of the electric legendary bird. That guy's sick too. I love that guy. And I think that's what my squad would be. Probably not the best synergy going on in there, but I don't go for that. That's too sweaty. We go for pure vibes on our Pokemon boys. And that's how we'd lose every single Pokemon fight. Is anyone into Pokemon here? First of all, Micah, you're not.
I think. Yeah,
Gene?
I think Gene's the only one that likes Pokemon. Like,
I love Pokemon. Yeah,
okay, I love Pokemon Red, Blue. Love those ones. Could never get into them after that though. I tried Sword Shield. I tried Scarlet and Violet. Ugh, that was an experience. And I tried Pearl and Diamond. They just couldn't get me, dude. And it bums me out because I want to love Pokemon.
Pearl and Diamond is tough is so old, so it's tough to go back to.
Well, I played it when it came out.
Oh geez. Oh gosh, yeah.
I've played these when they've actually come out. I haven't like gone back. If I go back,
did you watch the shows at all? Did you watch? I
watched the show back in the day when it like first aired.
I loved the show, so I think it. Again, the reason why I use Pikachu is because of my huge attachment to the show. I guess.
Yeah.
Ash Ketchum. So, it's definitely like a strong attachment to and nostalgia for me in terms of.
Yeah. When I watched, it was just Ash, Misty, and Brock. Not this guy Tracy or whatever, who the fuck they added later. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck that is, but yeah.
All right. Well, those are your Pokemon. Hopefully the next Pokemon is great because I want to love Pokemon again. I want it to be good. But they got to get some quality control in that next game because Scarlet and Violet was real bad. Real bad when it came out. All right, this is from Nevitz. My Chrome is freezing. Hold on. I have to refresh this. Okay. This is from Nevitz. Box art question for you physical people. Do you like the uniformity of the Switch's red spines, or do you wish each game chose their own spine design like the PlayStation systems? Thanks and keep gaming. I have visual aids if you need them.
I think I do like that the Switch games are all very similar. When I see the collection, it's just very distinct. I always liked like the PlayStation Red cases, for example, when they do those. Like I just love red. And so I like that the Switch is all red. It's very reminds me of Mario, for example. It's just a fitting color for Nintendo. I really like it. What about you, Gene?
I like the red. But I wish that as someone who has a ton of Nintendo Switch games and keeps them on a shelf, I wish that the logos were distinctive so we can tell them apart. So that's why I actually try to put my Switch games in alphabetical order, because that's the best way I know how to find the game. Otherwise, if I try to put it like, oh, I like Mario the best, so I'm going to put Mario front, which is what I used to do, right? But that doesn't work, because then I forget which one I like best or better, or what does it matter, and then I just forget where games are. So if it's all in alphabetical order, then I know. But it'd be cool to have the logos on the side, right? But the Switch cases are so thin that they don't do that. So I do hope that the Switch 2 case is, I don't know, just a little bit more robust, and I keep the red. I like the red. I like
they should keep red. They should keep red.
Yeah, there should be some kind of uniformity, especially if Nintendo's going to be like the last console manufacturer standing. But yeah, hopefully that if we can put logos there, the game logo, that'd be nice.
Visuals right here. We got the Switch game, just red. Yep. This is totally clean. I like it. But when you get this on a shelf of like 40 other games, it looks like a jumbled spaghetti mess. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. Here's PlayStation 5s. They all have this white spot right here, which I like, but then they have the different colored and different design spines, which I appreciate more because it's much easier to pick out the game. So I prefer it that way, but if they keep it the same way for Switch 2, whatever, dude. Not a big deal.
Yeah, I also find it like really intriguing, Gene, that you have your games alphabetized, because I have mine arranged by played or not played. So I have all the games I've already played and beaten are together, and then the games I haven't beaten yet are in their own section. And it's like, my God, like Gene
I used to do that too.
On a higher tier than I am to have them alphabetized.
Can't do that. I would just be like, okay, here's the games I need to play still. I'm going to put them over here. Not worry about this other shit. You're irrelevant to me right now because I'm only focused on this stuff. I feel you, Micah. Same way I did it. All right. Let's get into some news, actually. Not so much going on, I would say. We're all just kind of waiting for Nintendo to say something at this point. Please say something soon. Please. We're getting close to September. Let's hear some announcements, perhaps. But Micah sent this over to me, actually, in an email to inform me about this. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp is ending online service in November. Here is the email from Micah that she sent to me. Thank you for playing Animal Crossing Pocket Camp game. The online service for Animal Crossing Pocket Camp will end on November 28th, 2024 at 7 a.m. Pacific Time. We would like to express our sincere gratitude to everyone who has supported the title since the service began. We will continue distributing in-game events and adding items until the services end. Thank you. Now, what I'm hoping is people are going to be plopped on their phones just waiting for the end of the world in Animal Crossing. That's what you got to do if you play an online game. If you're involved in it, you just got to be there for the end. So I hope plenty of people are doing that. Micah, did you play this game at all?
Oh, yeah.
A lot? Okay.
I was really into Pocket Camp. It was one of those things that everyone in my office got super into it at the same time. This was back when I worked at the IT office. And because Colin and I were discussing this, I got this email and I was like, oh, man, they're shutting down Pocket Camp. And he was like, how long's it been running? And I checked and it came out October 2017. So that's a long time that Pocket Camp has existed in the first place. And yeah, I was heavily into it for a while. I definitely stopped playing it when, Animal Crossing
proper
New Horizons. Yeah, when that came out, it was like, well, who needs this? But it was really fun, really cute, great to play with friends. You visit, the little islands or whatever, taking like pictures with each other as you do. I loved it. I had a great time with it, trading items with people or whatever. Like, it was fun. It served its purpose as it's not quite Animal Crossing, but it's something to do. But yeah, it surprised me to get this email only because I said, holy shit, I didn't know it still existed. Because I don't even think I've had the app on my phone for a few years now. So I was surprised that it even was still online in the first place.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I forgot this even existed because it's been so long. I played it a little bit when it came out, I remember. I liked the idea of like at camp or whatever. I thought that was a cute little idea for it. But Gene, did you ever play this game?
I did for a little bit, but because I really wanted to try to get engaged with Nintendo mobile stuff, but yeah, I only played it for maybe a couple months. Definitely, I figured that this was going to happen. I think it's very cool that there's going to be an offline component, that there's going to be a perpetual version. So
yes,
that's a huge relief. So that makes me realize, like, oh, maybe it would have been cool to invest in this, because obviously New Horizons is basically stopped too. So
right, yeah,
that's also a perpetual game. So pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah, definitely something that I didn't play for too long. But it was definitely cool, and it got more support than New Horizons. More shit's there.
Sure, yeah, because they could charge money for it, so it probably got more support.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's what they said, like what Gene was saying. We're developing a version of Animal Crossing Pocket Camp that our users can continue to play with their save data. So I agree, Gene. That's awesome. I wonder what kind of changes they'll make into the game. If they're just going to let you get everything in game now, anything that you had to pay, that'd be sweet. I could see some people still playing it for a while. I mean, if I was going to play Animal Crossing, I'd just play New Horizons, I guess. I don't really play games on my phone, though, but I would play Animal Crossing New Horizons instead. I didn't get super far into that game because I kind of got bored. I was like, oh man, they didn't really add... It just doesn't feel that different to me when I played it. I was kind of surprised how shitty some of it was, like the online. Like, good lord, getting someone to your island was like such a chore and had to like wait in loading screens. It's like, what? That was when I was like, fucking Nintendo, dude. Always a generation behind in online stuff as always. But shout out. I know a lot of people love Animal Crossing. I loved Animal Crossing 1 on GameCube. I played a fuck ton of that game with my friends. Holy shit. We got fights about chopping down trees and stuff like that, stealing each other's fruits.
Exactly. Right? Like, my sister and I would play it on GameCube, and we were very late to the party. We didn't have a GameCube until I was in high school. So we're talking like 2010. But was gifted a GameCube and Animal Crossing and a few other games, and we got so into it. It would be like, you took all the fruit. I wanted to harvest some of the fruit, like, because we're sharing it, and we just wanted to have like equal participation, basically. But I liked that game so much. Animal Crossing was a little more creepy. I liked Animal Crossing when it was kind of scary, right? Yeah. Like back when Mr. Rossetti was gonna like throttle you.
Yeah,
you
like
thought he might break into your house. Exactly. Yeah. It's like, this guy might kill me because he's so upset with me for not saving my game. Things like that. I agree that the newest one did feel a little stale. I was really excited for it, partly because of the time period it came out, and it was just like a breath of joy.
Perfect time for that game to come out. Insane.
Right. But I agree that some things did feel a little stale. Like, Animal Crossing New Leaf on, 3DS, I loved going to the island, for example, and all that stuff. And I was just kind of like, this just doesn't feel the same. When I played Animal Crossing on 3DS, I was so hooked. I kept the DS, by my nightstand, and I'd play it like first thing in the morning before I work. I'd play it at nighttime before I went to bed to go catch the nighttime bugs. I did not get that into it with the Switch version. And it was surprising to me just because I do really love Animal Crossing, but something about the one on Switch really didn't capture me the same way.
Yeah. What about you, Gene? Did you enjoy New Horizons?
I did. I was obsessed with it, and now I just have PTSD with it because it's more associated with the pandemic. So every time I hear The guitar music, when they started playing the Animal Crossing theme song at the Game Awards that year, and at the end of 2020, I felt like crying. I was like, this is terrible. I never want to hear this song again. So I actually bought the Animal Crossing Switch and I gave it away to my coworker because I didn't want to see that shit.
Wow.
So
that's a nice Switch.
It is a nice Switch. It's the best one. But
yeah,
Animal Crossing. I just don't know if I can do it again. So
sure, I get that, man. It's crazy how much New Horizons sold. According to just this article or this Wikipedia thing, 45 million copies sold of Animal Crossing, which is insane. Like, Animal Crossing and GameCube sold 2.27 million. How Animal Crossing has risen and is like, that's like top selling Switch game right there. That could be the top selling Switch game. Easily. It's crazy, man. Why don't you guys just, beef it up a little more next time? That would be good. I need you guys to beef it up.
Yeah,
I don't want to. Sorry, I gotta go. I'm going to go on an Animal Crossing rant. I gotta stop.
Oh, do it. Well, no, I was gonna say, do you remember Happy Home Designer? When did that come out?
I don't know. That's a great question.
Was that DS or was that Switch? I'm
that was
getting
3DS.
Confused. Okay. Because I was like, that was such a weird thing to do.
Yeah.
I didn't actually buy that game. I might have rented it on GameFly, and I was like, this kind of sucks. And I just started being like, what are you doing here? What is this? That was just like a very weird misstep for them, and I feel only because it's such a popular title. And I was like, what the hell is this thing? And I just remember, I don't know. And Digby, the little other dog, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it.
Wow, I don't even know who that is.
Oh, Digby. It's like Isabel's cousin or something. It's like a little brown dog. I think they're related. I might just be being racist, but I think they're related. But it's like a little brown dog instead of a yellow one.
Digby. Yeah, he looks a little more smug.
Yeah.
He's got like a smoking jacket on or something. I don't like Digby. He's got a weird vibe.
Digby either.
He's got a weird vibe.
You know what it reminded me of was I was a Dora the Explorer kid. And when they came out with Diego, I was like, fuck this. Like, I hate Diego.
Yeah, who's Diego? Get out of here, Diego.
And that's exactly how I felt about Digby. I was like, Isabel can wear another hat. She can do another job. Don't bring in another dog. Like, we don't need another one. We already have one.
Man, there's so many villagers. I have no idea who they are. I know one villager, I think, by name, and that's Apollo. He's the only one I know.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was the bald eagle that likes to work out and shit, I think.
And
I was like, yeah, this got to be a sick neighbor. Damn. Oh, man. Animal Crossing. Good times for some, not for others. All right. Let's see here. Oh, I'm sorry. They're going to share details around October 24th for more stuff on this, the Pocket Camp stuff. So keep an eye out for that if you are curious. Okay. Nintendo Museum. Nintendo put out a Nintendo Direct showcasing the new Nintendo Museum. Where is this, in Kyoto, Gene? I think it is. It was actually a really cool video. It was like 10 or 12 minutes. Did you guys watch this by any chance?
Yeah.
Man, it was really sick. It was me. I really liked it, having Miyamoto being kind of the tour guide for all this. It's like, fuck, I want that if I ever go there. I need Miyamoto to be my guide. But it's just like a cool, awesome history of Nintendo. On first of all, it opens October 2nd, 2024. So if you're going to be in Japan around that time, maybe consider going there. I would if I was you. Let's see. It's built on the site of the original factory where Nintendo made Hanafuda and other playing cards, which is really cool. I really appreciate that they're keeping that legacy going over there. In the video, Miyamoto just kind of showed a bunch of the exhibits they have and stuff like that. Here's the first one he talked about. On the second floor, they have a display of products that Nintendo has made since it was founded in 1889. Got traditional video games like NES and SNES, as well as products dedicated to moving your body, like a bike machine and the power pad. Products they made before video games, like board games and a Daiso copy machine called Copyless. Also, a cool area we can see the evolution of graphics from the Super Mario and Legend of Zelda series. So during this whole thing, it's like they have like shrines essentially for each console. You know, you got the Famicom over there, but also they got the NES with it, and they got different versions of the box art and all that cool, which is, I just love seeing like the Japanese Famicom version of a game than the United or the US version. All that good shit. They're just showing Mario Brothers there. They have giant controllers kind of hanging for the ceiling, which is really cool. But what do you guys think about this particular section?
Oh, it looks fantastic. Like the whole time I was watching this, Miyamoto just looks fantastic.
Yeah,
really great to see him just looking like cheery and healthy and all that, first of all. But as you mentioned, like the giant controllers, I was like, holy shit, look at that. It was really like visually impressive. And as you mentioned, one of my favorite parts was seeing the other things that they made before they made video games. And I was like, this weird exercise bike type thing, like the board games. It was pretty cool. The copy machine. That was what I enjoyed the most from this section of the little tour, was the what did they do before gaming, and seeing how much they made. You know, a lot of people already know, like, yeah, they used to make playing cards, but that's usually the extent of what people say is like Nintendo was a playing card company. Seeing the absolute like stacks of stuff that they made prior to games was really cool.
Yeah, there's like a stroller here or something, and there's like a rifle that looks like a Winchester rifle or something. I guess it's a light gun game, but like, man, they made a lot of crazy shit, like cameras or something. That stuff's awesome. Gene, what did you think about all this, dude?
I mean, what can I say? It's cool. I wish. I wonder if they have enough stuff to feel like they can do satellite museums in other places. You know, especially a lot of this historical stuff. Obviously, a facility like this would be very, very expensive to make. Museums themselves are very expensive to make. You know, I live in a city full of museums. But gosh, wouldn't it be cool to have a Nintendo museum here in DC?
Yeah, or at least maybe in Washington, where they're located. They're North American headquarters.
Yeah, it's Seattle, Washington. That'd be great. And that's probably, I wouldn't be surprised if that's probably in the works sooner or later. You know, especially since Nintendo has their whole campus, and they've been experimenting with the with the Nintendo Live event too. So it does feel like that they're probably going to bring that over here somehow.
But yeah, lots of really cool stuff in here. Also, they showed, like, the next thing Miyamoto kind of showed us was a giant screen on the floor they're talking about. And on this floor, it was the Hanafuda cards. And I guess you could play the cards there with like a digital like pad or something like that. I have no idea how that game works whatsoever. But it was really funny because he was just talking. And there's a bunch of employees just walking around looking semi-confused, like trying to play this card game. Oh, it looks like you can play it on your smartphone too. But it's cool. And he showed off a little badge you get when you come here, and has like 8-bit Mario jumping. It's like, man, it has your name on. It's like, man, I really want that. That's what I want. I want the badge that you get for going to this thing. It's really cool. All right. Next, after that, they moved on to kind of like what I like to call, or they're like carnival-like games, I would say. Like the first thing they show is Miyamoto's like outside a bunch of these rooms. They have like little small, very tiny living rooms set up that are like in a cage, and it's like the batting cage. They use the which is like their pitching, the machine pitching thing. I'm trying to remember what it was called, but essentially it's like machine pitch baseball they made for kids that you can play in the house, and you can play this like in a fake living room. And if you hit the ball at certain stuff against the wall, it interacts with stuff that you hit the ball with. So like he hit some bottles and they spun around or something. Like really fun, cute, like little Disneyland ideas. I like that. Also, he was batting right-handed, and I was surprised because I know Miyamoto is left-handed. But I was like, okay, that's what side of the fence he falls in on that. Because as a lefty myself, you do some things left-handed or you do some things right-handed. But I guess he just bats right-handed. So he's lost some credibility in my book right there. But yeah, it looks really cool, really charming. I would love to do it. Oh yeah, there's like a printer he hits or something with one of the balls, and it like prints out a piece of paper. Just something goofy like that. The next thing we kind of see is like this game wall. Think of like a giant light gun wall or something like that you'd see in an arcade. But here they use the zappers, the NES zapper. You can use that, or you can use the Super Scope. If you guys remember that giant like bazooka from Super Nintendo era, you get to use one of those, and it's just like a basic game. You're shooting like booze and Koopas and all that kind of stuff and not trying to hit Peach. But the video, Miyamoto's playing with them also, and he looks like he's having such a goddamn good time. I love it. I think he gets first place at the end too, so he's letting those youngsters know what's up still. He is still the GOAT. And finally, well, not finally, but this is one of my favorite sections, is basically there's this room where you could play games from the Famicom all the way up to the Wii. However, every single thing is used with a giant ass controller. You're not just going up there playing with like a regular controller. You have to use a giant motherfucking controller that takes 2 people or some shit to play with. And it's such a goofy idea. I don't know who came up with it, but I like it. Like, we see people like moving the Wiimote as like with both hands and stuff like that, and someone trying to use the nunchuck. It's brilliant. I love it. What do you guys think of this?
Yeah, that was my favorite one as well. Because he said, I think there were 8 total like interactive exhibits, and they were only showing us those 3. But the giant controllers was my favorite. Of the one they showed him playing as well. They're playing the Mario game, and it's like he can control the D-pad, and the other person was controlling the face buttons, because it would be impossible for one person to do all of it.
Right.
And it was just really neat to see them like coordinating their moves. I bet that girl though too like was so nervous about.
Oh
like,
my god, yeah,
right.
she had to
You're
do the harder part.
Miyamoto
she had to do the jumping and running.
Exactly. And they did a great job, and it was so cool. And then the Wiimote just looked hilarious to try and maneuver that with 2 people. That would be like my first stop in terms of like the interactive exhibits, because first of all, I love miniatures. Like, miniatures is one of my favorite things like in life, you know, little knick-knack type things. But the opposite, and seeing something be huge, also really cool. So that just really caught, I don't know, some sort of childhood whimsy in my brain. And I was like, holy shit, look at it.
It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, you know? Seeing all these giant, huge objects. Yeah. Do you think Colin would play a game there? Or would he be like, no, it's Nintendo, I won't do it?
Oh, I mean, yeah, he would. He would. If we chose one of the classic ones, he would play it. I mean, I think he'd enjoy this. Yeah, because it's like, you know, we got the history aspect of it. I think he would enjoy a trip to the Nintendo Museum.
Yeah, you bet. If you're flying to Japan, you better swing that Wiimote around, all right, Colin? That giant Wiimote where you're making a fool of yourself.
If I ever go to Japan, this would definitely be on the list of places I would have to see, for sure.
Absolutely. Gene, you're in that room. What are you playing first?
I feel like I'll have to probably pick up an old school Famicom controller just to start from the beginning. You know.
Yeah.
You know, as many people know, I grew up on the Famicom, so it behooves me to pick that one up first before anything else. Obviously, the Wiimote seems like a lot of fun. So.
Yeah. I feel like if I was there and I saw the Famicom controller, I would try to play it all at once. I would do like the Batman spread or whatever out like that and just get really close and try to do it. But they might think you're a freak if you do that. I don't know. Because there's going to be a bunch of kids around and might be a little sus doing that. So I don't know.
Oh, dude, somebody, like, guaranteed somebody is going to like try and take their shoe off, have like a foot up on one button, hands on the other. They're going to be like, stop that. You know, they're
getting their feet on the controller. Jesus. Yeah, that's going to happen 100%, dude. It's going to be some stinky tourist. Yeah. Some guy from like Germany or some shit, some German tourist. I can just see it now.
He's got a pretzel in one hand. He's got lederhosen on.
Yeah, the lederhosen, dude. Also, they have a cool little section where you can make your own Hanafuda cards and play, even if you don't know the rules, they said. I think this is really cool. Being able to design your own cards is really sweet. I would like to do that. I don't know how to play the game. I don't know what they are, but they just look really nice, so that'd be awesome. Also, he gives a shout out to their cafeteria, and he says you can like make your own hamburger or some shit like that. Yeah, he says where you could pick what goes on your hamburger to make it your own. It's like, okay. And of course, there's a shop, museum exclusive shop. They're going to make so much fucking money from that. It's going to be ridiculous how much money they'll make. But yeah, shout out. This looks really cool. I would love to go someday. I'm really happy they're doing it. I think it's really cool. I wish more companies would do this. I wish PlayStation would do something like this, or Xbox would be awesome. But yeah, shout out Nintendo. Shout out Miyamoto. Still looking good. Keep making those games, dude, all right? Don't stop. All right. Let's see. Let's talk about this game. I'm curious about it. Emio, the Smiling Man. This is a visual novel. Famicom Detective Club. Was that a series, Gene?
Yep, it was.
Okay, so this is like a new installment of it?
Yeah. So
Famicom
Detective Club is an early 80s game that was inspired by the Yuji Horii visual novel. God, what was it called again? Visual novel. Yuji Horii. Portotopia Serial Murder Case. So the Nintendo wanted to do their own version of Portotopia Serial Murder Case. And for people who don't know, Portotopia Serial Murder Case would eventually influence all of the design decisions that went into, which would eventually create the JRPG genre. Everything that is in Dragon Quest came from Portotopia Serial Murder Case, including like talk, actions. You know, that was where they got the idea of having menu-based actions for a role-playing game.
Okay.
Yeah, Famicom Detective Club is Nintendo's attempt at it, or a very early attempt at it too. So they were pretty early on in the visual novel ball too. And this is being directed and written by the director of Super Metroid and Metroid Dread.
Oh, really?
Yoshio Sakamoto. So
that's cool, dude. I didn't know he was doing this.
Because he is the creator of the Famicom Detective Club. This was before he went on to make Super Metroid. So he was really interested in writing and writing stories. So that's why Super Metroid ended up becoming so much more, cinematic and everything.
Yeah, the beginning stuff.
Exactly.
The prologue,
Yeah, the prologue, all the ending stuff that happens with the story there. So you can tell that he definitely has really like strong and ambitious like narrative instincts. So
yeah. Cool. Are you gonna play this, Gene?
Yeah,
this
totally.
new one?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Micah, what about you? Any interest?
Oh, yeah, they totally got me. I decided to try the demo. I started it last night and I played all of what was available of the demo. And well, here's what happened. I stopped playing last night and I actually said to Colin, I like it, but I'm not 100% sold on it. I'm not sure yet. And then this morning, I finished what was available currently for the demo because they are going to add one more chapter to the demo, I believe, on the 27th. So there'll be like a little bit more coming out. And then as soon as the demo ended, I was like, oh, well, I'd like to see more, please. And I went ahead and pre-ordered it on Target. So they got me. The demo wins again because without the demo, I honestly was not going to buy this. I like visual novels. I'm not crazy about detective style games usually, though. So I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it, but the voice acting is fantastic. The soundtrack is really good. There's like this like sweet ass bass line that just keeps playing in the background. I was like, I like this a lot. It looks very pretty. Something I really like is that the game does give you hints if you need them. If you use the think option, it kind of steers you a little bit in the right direction. So if you're someone like me who doesn't love puzzle type games, it gives you a little nudge when you need one. I really enjoyed it. As soon as the demo ended, I said, oh, darn, they got me. So yeah, this is definitely something I'm looking forward to now. When originally, I was happy that they were doing it. I was really stoked when it was announced just because I said, sweet, this is a rated M game. Nintendo, I do think, needs more of those in the collection. And I said, though, I don't think it's for me, but I'm happy it exists. Now that I've played it, it's definitely a game that I'm really looking forward to.
Hell yeah. I think it looks cool. I'm not a visual novel guy. I don't really enjoy playing the visual novels, but I respect them, and I'm glad they keep coming out for people that love them. So shout out, Nintendo. Keep them coming. Let's see. James Hill wrote in, howdy box fisters. What's your vibe for Emio, the Smiling Man? Nintendo's marketing strategy was good enough to get 50 out of me, even though I'm a huge pussy when it comes to horror. You may be asking, how huge of a pussy are we talking? I had to sleep with the lights on while watching reruns of American Dragon Jake Long after watching the OG Paranormal Activity at the AMC. Have a great day. Wow. That was very in-depth, James, about how much of a big pussy you are. But I appreciate it. Thanks for letting us know, dude. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Also, $50, dude. Nice price. I like that.
Yeah, that was another selling point for me. Because I'll also say, I mean, so far it's not scary. It's intriguing and it's interesting, but as of right now, like the demo they released wasn't really leaning towards horror yet. I do hope it gets a little more creepy, a little more spooky, because I do like a scary game every now and then. But $50 is also part of what sold me on it. I was like, okay, I like it enough to give it a try. For that price, especially, that just kind of sealed the deal.
Nice. Hell yeah. All right. Let's talk about what we've been playing. Gene, let's start with you, dude. What are you playing?
Yeah, since this is gonna come out on Tuesday, right? Or Wednesday, or
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Whenever our fucking show comes out. Since this is gonna be coming out on Wednesday, I've been playing Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh,
lots of Star Wars Outlaws. And I would have given it a 3-star review out of 4.
Okay, so you enjoyed it.
I think this is a really, really good game. I think it is a good example of the Ubisoft formula being really, really good. I think it's a reminder why the Ubisoft formula is repeated so much, because it's reliable, it's good. It does get repetitive after a while once you realize that you are doing a lot of the same tasks, which a lot of it. This is a very, very stealth heavy game. I would say it's an open world stealth game actually, and you might be surprised, but after maybe 30 hours, I realized I think I'm just playing Watch Dogs 3 the whole time.
Huh. Okay.
I think they just made the Star Wars into a Watch Dogs game, because you have your K-Vess is the hero character, right? And she's cool, but she has a little space alien cat creature named Nyx. And the cool thing about Nyx is that you can send Nyx off to open doors or distract enemies. And then I realized that's just the Watch Dogs phone hacking mechanic.
Yeah.
Where you can just open doors and distract enemies and explode certain things or whatever. That's exactly what Nyx is doing. So it's kind of fun. But moreover, and as I mentioned in my review, I think Star Wars Outlaws really remembers like the little things right about open world games, because you know how in Cyberpunk everyone complained about how you can't really sit down and like have a bowl of noodles,
right? Yeah.
Or Starfield, having all these loading screens over there like that. In Star Wars Outlaws, you can go from an Imperial starship cruiser, leave that starship cruiser in your little starship, go through a little asteroid field and punch through the atmosphere, land in a spaceport, get on your little speeder bike, drive to Mos Eisley, and walk into the cantina and sit down and have a drink or play a card game, all seamlessly, So I think that experience is cool, and we might take it for granted, I think it's cool. It feels really, really immersive. It actually feels like I'm playing like an open world Star Wars RPG kind of,
Cool.
There are little things where obviously it's she's like wheeling and dealing with criminal organizations, right? And you get to choose which criminal organizations you get to side with. So it's like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. We don't we get to choose different factions. Yeah, the story is really good. And when there was a main quest story where one of my friends was kind of in danger, and I had to go rescue them, I was really, really worried about them. I was like, "Holy shit! Like that's fucked up. I can't sleep now. I need to finish this mission." So that is when I realized the story, although it's pretty like stereotypical, it's very much like a hey, I'm gathering a crew type story.
Yeah, yeah.
Because she's going for one big heist to set her life up. So it very much like follows that template of, okay, I'm going to go to this planet and I'm looking for this person. I'm looking for the biggest safe cracker, or I'm looking for the wildest gun in Tatooine or whatever. But then there are twists and turns during those sequences too. The story isn't like mind blowing. I'm like, oh my god, Star Wars. This is like reminding me how, but it is reminding me what I like about Star Wars. But it's not like blowing me away like amazing Star Wars story would. Then again, it's been so long since Star Wars blown me away. I don't know what that feels like anymore. I don't know. I don't know how Star Wars is supposed to blow me away. So in the meantime, I'm having a good time. in the Star Wars universe.
Did you play the Respawn Star Wars Jedi games?
I did. I like those a lot.
Okay.
They're very good. Cool. Yeah. The thing is that those are action games, right?
Yeah, more so.
More so, right? Jedi Survivor less so because it has more of a world going on. Mm-hmm. But Outlaws is definitely like, this is a world. This has towns in it, and when you go into a town, it's going to have shops, and it's going to have the bike shop and everything like that. And it's going to have the faction where you're going to be getting all your side quests and everything. Very, very structured. Nothing revolutionary, which is why I just give it 3 stars. And I did find myself getting a little bored once I started doing like all these different bases, and I'm like, oh, another stealth mission.
Yeah, the Far Cry taking out bases or some shit. It's
absolutely a Far Cry Watch Dogs game where I'm just you're literally looking through your fucking binoculars and marking the enemies in different areas, and it's bandit camps all over again. The good thing though is that all these camps and these not temples, but bases, imperial bases and everything like that, those are pretty unique. They are uniquely designed. It's not like a Starfield template where you go in there like, oh, this shit again, Each one is a little bit different, although all of them will have like the same goals, which is hack into this computer, unlock this door to go into this thing. Again, literally Watch Dogs 3. This is a game that's Watch Dogs 3 in space.
Cool. What platform did you play on?
PlayStation.
How did it run?
Runs really good, and the performance mode. I think it looks really, really solid. I actually love playing in performance mode. Doesn't look too washed out. I'm eyeballing it. Probably looks about like maybe just under 1440, which is not bad, And I'm playing it, and I also play it in quality mode too, because it has that 21:9 presentation. You can actually make it 16:9. You can actually make it full screen, so that's cool.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to be stuck in the widescreen 21:9 ratio. So
cool, awesome, sounds good. I'll be checking that out when it comes out too.
Also, just been playing that though. Just been crunching on that. I just wrote my review today, right before I hopped on here. So,
all right. So keep an eye out for that when the embargo lifts, I guess, for that game. Micah, what are you playing? I know one thing you're playing, but don't get too crazy into it, because you're going to be on Summon Sign with me soon. So don't get too crazy in it, because I'm very excited to talk to you about it.
Definitely. Well, first, I do want to mention, Colin and I watching the, preseason football games, and there actually was a commercial for Star Wars Outlaws. And I was like, oh, cool. I don't watch a lot of cable television. Primarily if we're watching TV, we're watching a show, through one of the apps, right? Like, we're watching Turn, that Washington Spies show. We're watching that through Amazon Prime,
I watched that show, yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen it before, and I like it a lot so far. But so we're not usually seeing commercials, so it was cool to see, video game ad right on TV during one of our football games. I'm like, that's sweet. Not a game I'm interested in, but Gene, you had me panicked for a moment when you said 3 stars, because I didn't realize you went on a 4-star system, and I was like, holy
4
shit!
Stars, yeah.
I was like, man, that's bad.
No, it's good. It's good. I thought about giving it 3.5 stars. But I actually have a Final Fantasy 16 scale, because I gave Final Fantasy 16 3.5 stars. I have very, very strong and distinctive feelings about Final Fantasy 16. So if I like a game better than Final Fantasy 16, then it's 4 stars. If I don't like it as much as Final Fantasy 16, then it'll be 3 stars or less. Mm-hmm. So.
That's a pretty sweet system. But yes, Brad mentioned I'm going to be on Summon Sign. So actually you'll have seen that before you see this. So that's just the way the timeline works. I am playing Dragon Quest VIII on 3DS. This is my first time ever playing Dragon Quest, and it has been quite a bit of fun. It's getting its hooks in me. I am maybe like 4 hours into it. Right away, I love the enemy design. They're all so cute. Of course, Kira Toriyama, just his design is everywhere in the game. The characters, the little enemies, I love it. It's really, that aspect of it already had me as soon as I saw the little world that we were playing in, and our companions, just they had me. Soundtrack, really great. I made sure to listen to some of it. Okay, did I listen to a podcast? Also, but
you gave it some time though, right?
I did, and it's really fantastic. I am making a key point of listening to the music when you enter a new area, for example, just to see how it changes and the tone. and I mean this as like a total compliment, it is very Disney-esque to me.
Mhm.
And I like the old school Disney, animated features that I loved when I was a kid. It just has this like whimsical quality. It's also just like very well done, but it gives me those like Sleeping Beauty, Pocahontas, like
Mhm.
my favorite Disney movies. It just brings me like a lot of emotion is in these songs, and that's like fantastically done. The voice acting is really well done. I was not expecting this 3DS game to be like fully voiced. That was a great surprise to me. And so that's another thing that's just like, wow, adds a lot to the game. I will say, like, the only knock I have so far is that there was no tutorial. So I'm playing the game, you're picking up items and
Yeah.
it does not tell you like how to use the items. I had to
Right.
go find, a guide from years ago to find out how to access the inventory bag, how to transfer the items from the bag to yourself so you can use them in battle. And I was just like, why didn't you tell me this? Just like, why didn't we have just a little 3-minute tutorial right at the beginning of like, here's the bag, here's how you move items. Like, why am I just figuring this out? Because even I'm not a new gamer, right? I pressed all the buttons that were available to me, right? And even
Right.
the button that you press that brings up the control menu, it was the controls for photo mode, and I was like, that's not helpful at all. Like photo mode, like which button brings up the inventory? Like, and that was a hassle. But once I figured that out, everything was fine. We were cool, and once I got settled into the game, having a ton of fun. It's more forgiving than I expected in the way that, like, if you die in a dungeon, you keep your experience. It just reverts you to the last place where you saved, but it doesn't reset your XP.
Oh,
And that's huge. Like,
I think
for
that's new
example,
for 3DS version.
hopeful, yeah, because I was just like, oh shit, I died and I had just leveled up, and it puts me back to this, like, the church where I saved, and I was like, oh, I'm still the level I just got. Sweet.
Wow.
So I didn't lose anything by dying except for the fact that I had to walk back to the dungeon. But that's A-okay. I was like, this rocks, okay?
Yeah.
So that was a plus. Yeah, as of right now, I just still have, just 2 people in my party. We're bebopping around. We're having a great time.
Yangus
Yes,
in your
Yangus.
hero. Yeah.
He's really funny. My
Boy,
hero's name,
Gov.
I named my hero Barl, like Carl with a B.
Oh man.
It was a little bit of a misunderstanding of I don't know why. I just had like a massive brain fart. The game was like, "What's your name?" And I was like, "Barl." And then it was like, "That's your name for the game." And I was like, "Oh shit!" I don't know why I thought it was asking me like.
Oh man.
I don't know why I didn't think I was naming the character. I mean, I'm gonna keep it regardless because it's a sweet ass name. But I had like a major lapse in judgment. I was like, Barl. I don't know, but yeah, I'm liking it a lot. It's addicting. I actually like I had the DS plugged in at my nightstand again for the first time in years, because
Hell
I'm
yeah.
like, this guy needs to be charged up 24/7. It's been weird to get back into 3DS to not have 2 sticks, for example, having to use the shoulder buttons to move the camera around. Just you get the hang of it, but I told Colin it feels like you're an amputee in some way in the phantom limbs people talk about, because I'm like, there should be a stick here. I
Yeah.
just keep going to use it and I can't move the camera in that manner anymore, and like it just feels like there's like this something's been amputated from my console and there's something missing. It's so interesting how used to it we've gotten, because I probably haven't played my 3DS in about a year. The last game I played on it was Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology, which I didn't finish. I didn't really like it very much. But that was the last time I played it, and that was a very different style of game. So this one, having to move the camera around, for example, it just feels so strange to do it with the shoulder buttons versus having a second stick. But getting over those like initial kind of getting your sea legs, once you're really into the experience, I'm totally hooked on it. I've been thinking about it this whole time. I can't wait to go play more of it today. Yeah, I really like it. This is my first ever Dragon Quest game, and I've been really excited for Dragon Quest 3, HD remake. And I was telling myself, don't play this one yet. You should wait and play that one. But I kept been looking at it. And I said, I just got to do it. So
You just gotta do it.
yeah, and I'm having a blast. I can't believe it took me this long to try it. it's one of those things of like, why did I wait so long to play this? Maybe I felt intimidated by it because it was such a big series of games, and but I don't know. I feel like a fool now for waiting so long.
Well, I'm delighted you're playing it. It's one of my favorite games ever, so I'm so happy that you're playing it. We'll get way more deep into it on Summon Side, but yes, we'll leave it there for now. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Just quickly, so last night I started playing Deadlock, that Valve's new FPS, or not first person shooter, third person MOBA shooter game I played. I played a little bit with Ben for a couple rounds. It's pretty cool. I like it quite a bit. I haven't played MOBAs really since the original Dota on Warcraft 3. So it's been really interesting coming back to the genre, especially because it's been so long, but I think this game's pretty sick right now. Like they just revealed it publicly. Like you can now like talk about it and stream it and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty simple, I think, to understand and get into. You got a bunch of heroes, and they do a good job of telling you like, hey, these heroes are probably better or easier to understand if you're new to the game, which I really appreciate. And they're all pretty cool from the characters I played, like specifically from a visual standpoint. I know this game's getting tons of heat already, but I just got to say, like Concord, when I was comparing like heroes to that, where I'm like, these characters are way cooler than anything at Concord, like right off the bat.
The fucking
right away.
The fucking guy with the finger guns shooting fire out by finger guns. Like he literally has more personality in his index finger than the entire cast of Concord.
Yeah,
it's crazy. That's a huge difference. You can see.
I know it is. It's super important to have characters that people actually want to play as to make your game successful. This character I kind of landed on, I actually liked her a lot, was she looks like almost like Cruella de Vil. She has like white hair and like very like dressed up and everything like that, furs, and she has like a revolver she shoots, but her whole thing is she kind of does like her abilities take away her health to do them, but also you can lifesteal health from other characters. So there's kind of like a risk to that, which I really thought was a lot of fun. There's a couple of more basic ones. There's like a sniper character I think Ben was using where she like excels just sniping people. Like what's cool about the map is there's a lot of verticality to it. It's like in the middle of a city almost, so you can climb up buildings and stuff like that and get nice advantages. And throughout the whole map, there's lanes. Like a MOBA game has lanes or whatever. Okay, like they'd have the left, top, or like middle and bottom and stuff like that. But here, everything's color coded. There's like red, there's like orange lane, yellow lane, blue lane, purple lane. Into these lanes, there's these hooks you can get on, like Bioshock Infinite. Do you guys remember like the sky hooks you could kind of grind across like that? That is in this game. You can just get on those hooks to get like right where you want to go. So you don't have to like walk through everything like that. And also you can use like a speed boost to get through it really fast, but it has a very long cooldown. So you only want to use it in drastic situations. Of course, there's gold to get, like that killing guys gives gold, and creeps gives gold. You can deny creeps from other players as well. Like all MOBA games have the shops. They have like a whole recommended tab of stuff you should buy for your character, like early game, mid game, late game, stuff like that. But yeah, I still have a lot to learn about the game. There's so much to it, I feel like, and there's so many heroes I haven't played as, but so far I am enjoying the game quite a bit, where it's giving me that itch to play a multiplayer game again, which I haven't gotten in a very long time, so I can't wait to play more. And even Ben did not enjoy it at first, but I think by the end, Ben was starting to have fun, so cool ass game. I don't know when it's officially going to get released or whatever, but
it seems pretty rough and early. I got an invite too. So
it's still early. Yeah,
I'm gonna be trying that for sure. Pretty soon.
Yeah, it's still there's still stuff that's not complete, like art assets and all that stuff. It's still early, but they're really just trying to get the gameplay down, I guess, like that, test that out. But it's cool. And also, just quickly, I've been playing Black Myth Wukong a little bit. I'm on chapter 3, Gene.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think it's good. I think it's a good game. I don't like the combat more than Stellar Blade right now. I think the combat in Stellar Blade's better, but I think the bosses in this game are probably much better, much more flashy, I would say, for the majority. Like, there's some really cool ones. There's like this chapter 2, so it's not too early. There's like this tiger you fight in like a pool of blood, and he has all these he's like a giant tiger. Think of the villain from Kung Fu Panda 1, essentially. But he's like huge, and he has all these cool like Kung Fu moves, and he has like a sword he uses. and shoots out shit, and this is all happening while you're in a giant pool of blood. It looks really cool. He was a really fun boss fight. The game itself is, for someone, like if you've played Souls games before, the game is much less difficult so far compared to them. Like I've died on bosses like three or four times, but I'm never like on a boss for like an hour or anything like that. So I've been able to get over that hoops pretty easy. Some of the difficulty I feel like is kind of all over the place. On some of like the trash mobs you fight, some are like jokes and others are like much more dangerous. So I'm kind of just feeling all that out so far still. Chapter 1 was very linear, which is fine because it's the beginning of the game and all that stuff. But once you get into chapter 2, it starts to open up and there's some secrets to find, which I appreciate. Like that's some incentive to explore the areas. But yeah, I'm having a good time. I gotta wait till I finish the game to like truly give it my take, I guess. But I do want to finish it. I'm having fun playing it, and obviously it looks very good. I'm playing on PC, so it looks very nice. So shout out to that game, cool shit. And quickly, I'm like 10 minutes away from finishing Death Stranding. I had to pause my playthrough, put it in rest mode. But like I'm at the end of that game, like pretty much, and that game still rules, dude. I love it. I can't wait for part 2 now. I watched the part 2 trailer after this, and whew, I'm so ready to be back as Sam Bridges, dude. And get that BB back, baby. Cannot wait. All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about that you've been playing, or should we move on? We're good? Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So there are some new Mario Kart Lego sets that were unveiled, I think at Gamescom. I gave a couple links to them. I think there's like 6 of them or something like that. Here's this one. I'm just trying to find the pictures of them.
These are terrible.
No.
Yeah, they got a Yoshi.
That, Gene?
They got a blue Yoshi. Well, they went too hard on the baby characters, in my opinion. There's like Baby Peach, Baby Mario, Baby Luigi. The Donkey Kong one's pretty sick, though. There's a little Toad with like a Mario's cart.
Donkey Kong one is sick, but the baby ones look terrible.
Yeah, I don't want the baby ones.
Yeah.
The Yoshi one I could accept as well.
Yeah,
just because it's Yoshi.
Peach looks awesome.
Micah loves Yoshi. Baby Peach?
Oh yeah, that's Baby Peach. Yeah, does she have like a big old? She has a big old pacifier. That's why.
Yeah, she does.
Cute. That's cute.
Oh, they have one of the Koopa kids. Which one is that? Something with an L, maybe. He's the one with like the colorful mohawk.
Larry or Lemmy. I'm forgetting which one.
Yeah, Larry. Let's just call
Larry
him
or Lemmy. Starts with an L.
That. But yeah, Nintendo is continuing their Lego domination. They've already got a few Mario sets like that, and they have the Zelda one coming out. Mike, are you buying this Yoshi one with this little Yoshi cart?
No. See, my favorite is little Baby Peach on the little caterpillar car. Is so cute.
The Wiggler,
but yeah, that's it. I love the little like the banana peels. This is tickling the urge to buy miniatures. The banana peels are so fucking cute. Oh my god, the little question mark cubes, little turtle shells. Like this is so cute. I want all of them. Like I'm just looking at these like, oh my god, Toad with this little mechanics wrench. Like they're adorable. And the thing is, so I don't have much fondness for the baby characters, except the nostalgia of my sister and I would always play Mario Kart Double Dash together. And her favorite course was Baby Park. I hated Baby Park. She'd always fucking choose Baby Park. I couldn't stand that one. But now it reminds me of her. It's one of those things that's like, oh, that's her favorite, you know? So the nostalgia is strong for that. And I was just like, oh, look, they're in the little baby buggies. Like that was her favorite one to play. Like, so that definitely got me. They got me with the nostalgia.
You gotta get
I'm
one
not
for your
actually
sister.
Gonna buy this though.
Buy it for your sister.
Perhaps, you know, she has 2 boys. They'd have fun putting these all together.
Yeah. That set is the Baby Peach and Grand Prix set. It's for ages 8 and up. Showing Baby Peach in her Wild Wiggler cart alongside Lemmy in the Landship cart and Toad on the standard bike. Choose your character, drift around an obstacle-filled course, race to victory in the 823-piece set, including a starting gate and more. So that's the one you would get. I would get the Donkey Kong with one of any, but I'm not going to buy them.
Yeah, that barrel cart is sweet. Like they did a really good job.
The Donkey Kong one they
in
did
general.
good for.
Yeah, they do all like they all look great. I mean, that's the magic of Legos. Like they look fantastic. Yoshi's little, Yoshi cycle looks great. Like they do, they really nailed it.
Yeah, I'm terrified. Like I know sometime next month I'm gonna walk by the Lego store and see that Zelda set and be like, fuck, and buy it. I know that's gonna happen. I'm trying to not buy it, but I'm afraid it's gonna happen. And it's gonna feel bad and good at the same time. There's also some new Lego Animal Crossing sets. We got one from this, looks like this little owl character. It doesn't say who they are. Stargazer was Celeste. And it's this red owl. Do you know about this owl, Micah?
Yeah, is she like the sister of the owl that runs the museum, Blathers? I can't remember if it's like his little sister or like it's like his cousin.
Okay, some relation though.
Yeah, I think she shows up when there is like a stargazing event, like a meteor shower.
Yeah, this is like a stargazing event Lego set. Totally looks like it. She's got like a telescope out there, a little sun, a moon, like seat or something like that. And it looks like she's got some teapots maybe and some snacks. Yeah, she's ready to chill.
This is very cute, but there's something wrong with the proportions.
100%. I made this, dude. When they released this, I was like, their legs are way too long. It looks weird. They need to be stumpy.
It doesn't work for Animal Crossing. Like looking at all of them, like the next set, for example, the Leaf the Sloth, just looks weird.
Yeah,
like there's just something. They don't translate as well to Legos as the little Mario dudes do. There's something about this Animal Crossing sets that I don't know. The proportions just don't look great as minifigs. Some of them look better than others, but some of them you look at and you're just like they're just wrong.
Dude, they announced these when I was at Easy Allies, I remember, and I was like, they look fucking weird. Their legs are too long.
Yeah,
and everyone's like, what are you talking about? And I was like, how do you not see this?
Exactly. Like their bodies are too long. Human.
I don't want that. Stay little chubby, stumpy animals, all right? That's what you gotta stay as. That set though with the garden shop and all that has like a trailer that looks really nice. I like that. The little blue car setting up shop. I like that. And the final one really is the Able Sisters clothing shop. It's got that porcupine. Is that Able?
Able? There's 3 of them. It's like Mabel. I can't remember all their names.
Okay.
Like one of them's Mabel, and I think their last name is Able.
Okay.
And that's the name of the store. But yeah, that's one of the sisters. I don't know which one.
Yes, the last one. It certainly appears that Sable and the other sisters who work at the clothing shop doesn't feature in the set. Okay. So just one of them. And it looks like you get one other villager there that they're making the clothes for. That one looks really jolly, though. I like the tree with like the fruit in it. It's very nice. Oh my God. There's in the window, there's a set with no head. And I was like, oh my God, what are they doing? Then I was like, oh wait, it's supposed to be like a mannequin or some shit like that. It's like, holy fuck, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And this is something that would definitely appeal to me when I was a kid and like in my Polly Pocket, era.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because with the minifigs, it's like, yeah, you just, pop off the torsos, switch the clothes around, and you can actually have them. Like, this is a functional play set, and that, like, a little minifig walks up to the store, and she can put on the new shirt, right? Like, it's really, like, this is one that's super well done, in my opinion, just because of the functionality of it. The garden shop is cool, but, like, yeah, you can pretend to plant little seeds, but like you can't really have things grow,
right.
Unless you have another Lego set that came with like veggies and then you can pretend the carrots came out of it. But with this one just being a little clothing store, that's like imagination, like perfection, because you can actually just have them switch their little clothes around and there isn't really anything, quote unquote wrong with the set.
Right. Oh, this is the set I would buy. This is an older set, but it's the Dodo Airlines one. Fly with Dodo Airlines, and it has the Dodo man, of course, that I love, and his little plane and like his little shop on the dock. That looks fucking awesome. But I won't do it. Still cool to see. Nintendo making bank as always. All right. Our next story is there was a this YouTube channel, Did You Know Gaming, who has been around for a while. They do like deep dives into game history and stuff like that, figuring out rumors and just like learning about the development of games and all that kind of stuff. Like they talk to developers often off the record and stuff like that, and they put together these really well done videos. There's recently one that came out where we learned more about the canceled Crash game that Toys for Bob was making. So it's a whole like an hour and 13-minute long video, which I didn't watch all that. I do want to, but I haven't yet. But I just got the rundown of all the important bits from mynintendonews.com. So I'm just going to read what they wrote here. Quote, you may recall that last month, a Crash Bandicoot 4 character where designer and illustrator spoke of the Crash 5 that never was. But there wasn't any further details about the game itself. But it heavily implied that a Crash Bandicoot 5 was in the works, only to be canceled at some point during the game's development. Well, thanks to Did You Know Gaming, in a new video posted today, we now have more information. The canceled Crash Bandicoot 5 was going to be a crossover game with Spyro the Dragon, where Uka Uka would gain access to an interdimensional portal to travel to Spyro's universe, use magic on the Dragon Elders, and threaten both Spyro and Crash's worlds. Crash and Coco would come and go from Spyro's world to foil Uka Uka's plans while simultaneously meeting Spyro and restoring the Dragon Elders. As for the playable characters, Nina, Cortex, and Coco were all considered. Meanwhile, there were discussions of Crash Bandicoot and Spyro being playable together. For example, there would be one idea where there's one idea being passed around of Crash riding on Spyro's back. As for the game as a whole, the other ideas were being considered, such as the collecting the dragon feathers, the return of realms from the original Spyro games, and more gender-swapped alternate universe characters similar to the ones in Crash 4. Unfortunately, the game never happened. Development for Crash 5 lasted only a few months from summer to November 2020. Most of the involved concept art and pre-production early demo environments Activision are gone. Activision then canceled the game due to Crash 4 not meeting sales expectation and Activision's desire to shift from single-player games with large budgets. End quote. So, they're making a Crash Spyro game, a cool team-up that I know a lot of people would have been excited for, particularly the guys that grew up on the PS1. Like, I bet Chris would have probably been pretty excited for this because I know he loves Crash Bandicoot. But what do you guys think about all this information coming out here? Gene, let's start with you. How are you feeling about it?
Well, actually, off topic, but right now I'm getting mad at people on Twitter because they're fucking telling me that I'm about to support Grums because
What?
I think motion capture is kind of a waste of money in certain types of games.
Oh, what? What does that have to do with him?
What exactly, man? Exactly. People on Twitter today are fucking insane. Anyways, oh god, what are we talking about?
Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Bandicoot. Yes,
game.
I saw this. Yeah. Not a huge fan of Crash. I liked the first two Crash games. But yeah, I was thinking about this. Crash Bandicoot is definitely one of those series where you think that they'd be popular and people who play Crash 1 will be all in the whole time, but no, I dipped out after a while. I was like, I'm kind of done with the character. I'm not really into it. So, same with Spyro. I really love
Sure.
I grew up with the Spyro games. So that's where I'm at, where whenever the discourse about, we should bring back Scrimblow Bimblow, Banjo-Kazooie and blah, 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 and all this stuff, it's like, yeah, I get the nostalgia for these characters, obviously. I bought Rocket Knight Adventures for the Switch recently. And guess what? I played it, and I didn't really like the game that much. I don't think the game's aged that well, So I think it's fine to just leave the Scrimblow Bimbos of the past. So
Sure.
I'm okay. I'm okay with us moving on from Crash. I don't think it needs to be a Crash centric world or Spyro centric world or whatever like that. Not everything needs to be Mario.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Mario is just Mario, and that's it.
Yeah, Micah, how are you feeling about this?
See, I have great fondness for Crash Bandicoot and Spyro because as a kid I did love those games, but I'm terrible at them. Well, Spyro, in my opinion, is easier. I can handle the Spyro games much better, but Crash Bandicoot, you get to a certain point, you get to that level where it's like the bridge that's like insanity.
Yes.
I get filtered out from Crash Bandicoot games, unfortunately. I just am only so good at platformers, but I do have great fondness for it. If this actually came out, a Crash, versus like mixed with Spyro game, like I would have played this for sure. I would have bought this for sure. Just because I do love both those franchises so much, and to have them do a crossover would have been like childhood Micah would have been like flipping the fuck out. Because I used to go over, it was my neighbor when I was in elementary school, this little girl named Alicia, and her dad would always set up the PlayStation for us, and we would play either Crash or Spyro. And so that I just have such great memories of those games, playing them at her house. Her parents were like super super nice, we liked them a lot, and I just remember those games with just like so many that childhood wonder of, you see an item in the distance, you're like, we gotta try and get to that, and we would spend an hour trying to fly to a place we couldn't fly to, like we could not get there yet.
Yeah.
But we just kept throwing it at the wall of like, we want the item, and it just brings all those feelings back. It's something I felt actually playing Dragon Quest VIII, of seeing a treasure chest, up on a hill somewhere and being like, I got to figure out how to go get that. And as an adult, I realize you cannot access that item yet. You are going to unlock a path at some point to come back around to it. As a kid, I would have spent 30 minutes just trying to get that fucking treasure chest. So those games awaken something in me that brings back childhood Micah. This is disappointing because even though I'm not very good at these games, I do appreciate them. And I think the single player, mascot games have their place in the market. I think Activision's answer is stupid because it's like, the answer isn't to never make another one. The answer is to not blow your whole budget on it. If the game sells X amount of copies, why don't you scale down the budget a bit and make a game that fits within those parameters and still be profitable, versus saying, oh, we'll never make one of these again. I'm not a businessman. What the fuck do I know? But it's like, not every game needs to have this crazy inflated budget either.
Right.
I don't need Crash Bandicoot to look much better than it already did, type deal. So it's disappointing.
Yeah, it seems like I agree with you, Micah, on the budget thing, especially like keeping expectations in check and like how much you're going to spend on this game. And it seems like we're kind of getting that with Astrobot. So I'm hoping even if it doesn't sell, 20 million copies or some shit, it'll still be very successful for them. Because I think the Insane Trilogy sold a lot, like 20 million or something crazy like that, like a lot. And I don't know how much Crash 4 sold, but Crash 4 did very well commercially. And like I'm looking at Metacritic here and it has a 85 and an 8.0 from users, which is very good. So
yeah,
people really like those games, and it may not have sold as much as the other ones or been disappointing for them, but I do feel bad because people do really like these games. And even though I haven't really played many of them, you have some hope, and just for it to be dashed away like that, you're just like, it hurts. It's like me with Banjo-Kazooie. New Banjo come back on Xbox 360, I'm like, oh, fuck, let's go. It's nuts and bolts. All my hopes and dreams are dead. So I know how it goes.
Well, why don't you just get into ukulele? You like those ones?
It was all right. It wasn't super good. Well, I didn't play it all, but they're doing like an updated version of it now. So I'll probably check that version out when it comes, because I do want those games. Good games like that. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Surprised, a direct happened. As I was complaining or hoping we'd get direct news on the episode, they did it like right after recorded, because we recorded it earlier this week because that was the only time Gene was available. Alas, Gene cannot be here. He is busy. So it's just me and Micah right now. But fear not. We're going to go through all this two-parter direct. I did not expect that. It was the Indie World and the Partner Showcase, Micah. How long was this? Like 42 minutes.
Yeah.
News. But yeah, I'm ready to dive in. I don't know where Ben's gonna put this in. I'll probably have to ask him. Who knows? Maybe this is at the end or right in the middle. I don't know, but just let you know, we don't know. It's too crazy. We don't know what's happening. But whatever. We'll get into the direct right now. We're going to start with the indie part of it. First thing we got was Balatro, Friends of Jimbo. Looks like a crossover with The Witcher 3, The Wild Hunt, Vampire Survivors, Dave the Diver, and Among Us. I don't really care about Balatro. I know a lot of people love it. What about you?
Yeah, I have never played it. I have heard Dustin extol the virtues of Balatro many times. This is a really cool idea to mix it up with these other franchises, but I have not yet discovered, the joy of Balatro. Maybe this is a reason for me to get into it.
Yeah, it has The Witcher now, so you love The Witcher to
Exactly.
me.
And
But Dave
Dave
the
the
Diver.
Diver.
Dave the Diver's everywhere, man. I feel like that crosses over with everything.
Yeah.
I love that Dave. But yeah. I forgot to write a date for that when it's coming out. But the rest, a lot of these I have dates for, so fear not. All right, next game was Neva. This is from the developer of, I think it's pronounced Gris or Grease. I'm not really sure how you pronounce it. It was a 2D platformer. This is their YouTube description. Neva is an emotionally charged action adventure from the visionary team behind the critically acclaimed Grease. Neva chronicles the story of Alba, a young woman bound to a curious wolf cub following a traumatic encounter with dark forces. Together, they embark on a perilous journey through a once beautiful world as it slowly decays around them. Micah, what did you think of this?
It
This
looks
anything for you?
really cool. I mean, I
Yeah.
like the art style a lot. It's not a game for me. These, artsy type games like
Yeah.
Journey, Snorefest. Okay?
Oh.
I just can't. So, I think it looks really cool. I love this art style that they've done. But this is not a Micah game.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks all right to me. I don't know if I'll play it, but it looks intriguing. I did like Grease, but yeah, this is definitely not a Micah game. Hard out on that one for Micah. All right, yeah, we're gonna rapid fire through all these twos, listeners, because there was so much shit in here. So we're gonna do our best. All right, Micah's favorite game, Moth Qubit, also shown. Take on the role of Moth Qubit in this surreal and satirical RPG. Investigate the mysterious insect megacorp. Befriend coworkers. Engage some verbal showdowns. Uncover secrets and shape the story. What do you think of this, Micah? How you feeling?
This is a cool concept. Of course, RPG, you're speaking my language in a
Yeah.
certain regard, but I'm not sure if they've hooked me on this. If they do a demo, I would maybe try this
Oh.
out. But some of the levels look really strange, and I don't know if this is going to be puzzle heavy or what. I'm not into puzzle heavy games. So some of this looks like that might be the case. I would want to see a demo or know for sure like if this is a real like puzzle solvey type game. The dialogue is cute and funny. Like I do think
Yeah.
this was a nice little trailer, but I'm not sure if this is an RPG that I'd want to get into.
Yeah, this game seems crazy. I don't even know what the hell's happening in this. There's like shoot 'em up parts. Looks like there's puzzles. There's like a part where they're
Yeah.
painting. It's out of control. I don't really know what's happening here, but it could be cool. I don't know. Did I write the date for this? I'm really curious if I did. No, I did not, but I need to know when this is coming out. I'm gonna look this up. Spring 2025. Okay, so next year. Not too far away though. But oh, quickly, Micah. Also, I guess this is the end of Nintendo news for the rest of the year, software wise, except maybe Switch 2. Is that what you think too? Because they did a direct pretty recently for like most of their stuff. Now they did partner and indie. You think that's it?
I'm feeling like this is it. It's hard to know because is Zelda the Echoes game? Is that October or November?
No, it's September. It's the end of the month.
September. Okay, so that's maybe there could be a little bit more for holiday.
Okay.
I feel like this is it, but I don't know. By chance, maybe they'll announce something like, "Oh, and by the way, this Christmas you get to play this." But I'm not feeling too confident about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's always possible. You never know with Nintendo. But they said Donkey Kong Country Returns, that Switch version's coming out next year. So I was like, oh, okay, well, that's it for first party kind of stuff. Seems like, but who knows? Nintendo's an insane company. Hopefully, we'll get that Switch 2 reveal, though. All right, next we had Coffee Talk Tokyo. There was the sequel, I guess, or a second game. Coffee Talk, you just talked to a bunch of characters and you make coffee in the game. Not really my type of game, but I know people enjoy it. Micah, what about you?
Yeah, I never played the original. This is a really cool concept to be like, okay, you get to play the barista for a bit. It's not something I plan to play. It's a little too simple, I feel, for what I like. I enjoy like visual novels, like branching paths and choice, but watching this trailer, I was kind of like, I don't know if I would want to actually play this game, but I love the concept. And I could totally see somebody like Dustin, and Holly, for example, people who love coffee. I could see them
Yeah,
chilling and playing this game together, getting into it, but I'm not
yeah,
a coffee lover on that level that I want to like
yeah.
simulate being a barista.
And it's in Tokyo, so Dustin Holly would be pleased.
Yeah, that's another layer on it that it's interesting. It's a really interesting concept, but I don't think I'd be totally sold on it.
Yeah. Well, it's coming out soon, or 2025 also. So stay tuned for that if you're interested. Next, Micah, Sea of Stars, Throes of the Watchmaker. I bet you're very excited for this.
I mean, but you know how I feel about DLC,
Oh yeah,
Brad.
you
We
don't like
would
to go
know.
back. That's true.
I'm torn. When it's a free DLC, they said
Yep.
correct because
Yep.
so I might get this, and it's not coming out, I think, until spring next year.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think that is enough time for me to miss the game and maybe check this out. I'll definitely want to like check a guide, see how long of a DLC it is. Like if it's like 5 hours, that'd be great. If it's like
Yeah.
10 hours, that's too much.
I don't think
I
it'll
don't
be
want
that long.
it's that thing because I'm like I don't need this. But because I'm a weirdo with DLC, but I was excited to see this. I do really love Sea of Stars. I'll probably check this out.
Yeah. Let me read the description for it. Journey into a magical miniature clockwork world where plethora of oddities and wonder await. In the world of Horlodge, where a cursed carnival threatens the innocent denizens, Valerie and Zale will have to play by foreign rules for their powers to manifest. So I really liked the setting of this one. It reminds me of the Millennial Fair from Chrono Trigger, which this game was definitely inspired by. But what I really liked about it also, Micah, is new character. They have like a new companion little guy. Look like a robot or something like that. So I'm into
Yeah,
that. And Valerie and Zale have different powers now. They don't have like the sun and the moon anymore. It looked like Zale. So Zale was like a juggler now. He's like juggling stuff in combat, and
yeah,
Valerie was an acrobat. They said so. I think that's a really cool twist on the gameplay. I'll definitely check it out. I can't imagine it being that long, Mike, if it's gonna be free,
yeah.
but it's still a nice surprise. Hopefully, it's easy just to access and everything like that. That's what I'm really hoping for. Because by the time it comes out, I'm just gonna be like, I don't remember what I was doing in this game or where I am.
Oh,
But yeah,
for
cool.
sure. Yeah, and the enemies like the carnival theme, like some of like the creepy clownish type dudes look cool. I'm
Mm-hmm.
into that. All right, creepy clowns
Mm-hmm.
are neat. So I'll check this out. I tell you what, Brad, I'll check this out.
Okay. 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 Do you think Colin will check it out? You think he's out?
I think he's out, but I d- will there be trophies? If there's trophies, he'd do it.
Mm. God, he is like the worst. No wonder you don't want trophies on Switch because he is like the worst example of a trophy person who will only play stuff for trophies. Horrible. Horrible man. All right, next we have Power Wash Simulator, Shrek Special Pack. Are you into this? I bet you're hyped. You seem like
Oh,
a Shrek fan.
I do love Shrek. Saw it in
Yeah.
theaters when I was a kid, but I've never played Power Wash Simulator. But I'd be excited to watch
Ooh.
Colin play it.
Oh
I always
yeah.
watch him play Power Wash Simulator, which is like even a step back. But I always watch him play it, and I derive great pleasure from that. So I'll be excited for him to get the Shrek pack because he's been buying
But
all these DLCs.
yes, which is great, and I know he loves this. But I just learned that he's never seen Shrek, so this is going to be
No.
his intro to Shrek.
Yeah. I
God.
mean, he'd never seen SpongeBob either, and he got the SpongeBob Power Wash Simulator pack, and he's like, "Is this a real thing?" And I'm like laughing at all the jokes, and I'm pointing things out, like he's in Mermaid Man's lair, and I'm
Oh,
explaining it all
that's
to
sick.
him, and he's never seen any of it. So yeah, Shrek. this will be his exposure to it.
Just get him to watch the movie before it. I wonder if he would even watch it. I don't know.
Oh,
He's
it's a good one.
I've said it a
I
hundred times.
think
Yeah, you
I
should
think
watch
Shrek
Shrek 1
holds
at
up.
least. Shrek
Yeah.
1 and 2, yeah, you can totally watch. The other ones, no, not so much. Pretty bad. Okay, next we have More Souls. More Souls is an oddball top-down roguelike with a rotating roster of playable characters that you switch between as you play multiple runs. Coming to Nintendo Switch 2025. Take on the form of a mouse who uses magic cards to transform into little monsters, battling against wicked felines who dominate the game's world. Collect and nurture a troop of your own monster friends to overcome cat dominance and bring peace to the land. A very interesting art style, kind of gross in an appealing way. Very disgusting. What do you think about this, Micah?
Yeah, the art style definitely stands out. Reminded me of something like Ren and Stimpy type deal.
Mm-hmm.
Not like that actually looked like that, but just the slight, like, kind of gross out type deal.
Yeah.
I'm not really into roguelikes. I think the only one I've ever played is Hades. Does that count? That's what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I like Hades a lot, but that's the only one I think I've ever played. Dave the Diver, they say the ocean is, technically like that because it changes every time, but it doesn't feel like that at all because you're going into the ocean to fish and there are some missions there, but it doesn't really feel like you're doing a different run every time. It's like, no, I'm going fishing. So I don't really count it as that, even though, yes, the landscape changes every time you go back in. So really, Hades is the only game in that genre that's ever captured my interest. And this does look kind of gross. I mean, kudos to them for something really unique, but like some of the things popping up on the screen, I'm like, I don't want to look at it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty gross. It kind of reminds me of Binding of Isaac. I know a lot of people like that game. I'm curious about this game. I'll keep an eye on Morsels. We'll see. All right, this next game I probably won't keep an eye on, which is Date Everything. Date Everything is a sandbox dating simulator set in the comfort of your own home, featuring 100 fully acted dateable characters. Each dateable object will open up, have their own stories, and potentially become your lovers, friends, or enemies. Are you ready to date everything? Coming October 24th. A vacuum cleaner turns into a human in this, like a human guy, so you could date literally like a vacuum cleaner bookshelf. It looks like.
Oh yeah, they had a bobby pin.
Yeah, like dishes. Yeah, bobby pin. This is a hard skip for me. I'm not into this. What about you?
So I was into the idea until they turned into people. I thought it was going to be that like you were dating the bookshelf and like the
That might be
bookshelf
more
itself.
funny. That would be more funny.
That's what I would have played for sure. The idea of just talking to the bookshelf and like the image of the bookshelf and all the dialogues coming out of that's hysterical. All right. The idea of taking the bookshelf out to a copy shop, like that's really funny. But having it be like turned into a person, it kind of lost all the appeal for me right there.
Yeah. Like dating a lamp man or something like that, like a lamp twink. I don't really know about that.
Yeah. No, they lost me.
Yeah. Not for me, but someone out there will enjoy it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, some people are gonna enjoy that. Let's see. Here we go. Peglin. The dragons have been popping penguins and stealing all of your gold for as long as you can remember. Enough is enough. It's time to venture through the woods, conquer the fortress, and delve into the heart of the dragon's lair to take back what's yours and teach those dragons a lesson. Available now. Micah, what did you think about this game? I gotta look at the footage real quick so I can even remember what it was.
Yeah, this is like, I don't know, remind me of
Peggle. Sorry. It's like Peggle.
Exactly. I was gonna say that. I remember playing Peggle on, did it come to Xbox 360?
Yeah, I think it did. Yeah.
I remember playing it on there. So many good times. But I don't know if I need another one of these. It's cute. It's a neat idea. I don't really want to go back to my Peggle days. I feel like I'm done.
Yeah, you've had enough Peggle.
Yeah, I mean, when you used to
RPG.
just play it like free on the internet browser, like just for hours, right? And then it's like, oh, it's on Xbox 360, and I've played too much.
Yeah, I think if you're into Peggle, this is probably really sick because it is a Peggle RPG, and I can see the appeal of it. Like, show you like fighting a dragon boss fight, and it looks kind of fun.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm in the Peggle mood, but shout out to Peggle, dude. All right, This next game, Wobbly Life. This is a weird one. Wobbly Life is a vibrant, open-world physics sandbox. Play with your friends online or in local co-op with exciting jobs, mini-games, and wacky story missions. Earn cash to spend in the world on clothes, vehicles, and houses. There's a whole wobbly world out there to explore. Coming to December. Now, I don't know. The visuals are very interesting. I don't know if I'm really into them. They look low poly, I guess. I'm not really sure how to describe it. There's like a lot of fog. It reminds me of the N64. But I like physics platformers. It looks like there could be some fun, but I don't know if I would spend the time to play it, Micah. What about you?
Yeah, this feels like it's to me looks like it's geared towards younger gamers. This like
Mm-hmm.
screams what I've
Mm-hmm.
watched my niece play on Roblox,
I was
for
gonna say some
example.
Roblox kid probably would enjoy it.
Exactly. This feels like Roblox on Switch type deal. It's cute. It looks like it's got some fun stuff in it. It seems like a game for a younger player.
Yeah. So let us know, all you younger kids out there, if you're enjoying it or not, young listeners. I know we got some like 10-year-old listeners. We don't, but that'd be really funny. But if you're 10, what are you listening to the show for?
Oh my
Don't listen to
god.
us. We swear.
Please don't.
Don't
I
do it.
hope they haven't heard anything Gene has
Yeah.
ever said.
Yeah. Get the fuck out. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. Gene will scar them for life. All right. Next, we got Pico Park. This looks like it's a multiplayer platforming puzzle game. Let me just read the description. Here we go. That's Wobbly Life. Pickle Park is a 2D action puzzle game where working together is key. Play with 2 to 8 players locally or online. Up to 7 players can join online with a single Nintendo Switch. All levels can be played no matter how many players you have. Discover more levels and a new kind of unfair and difficult dark mode. Available today. So yeah, it looks like you work together with multiple people to get some tasks. Like they showed a bunch of them like stacking up on each other, like 7, making like a ladder almost, someone getting to the top to press a switch. A lot of shit like that that's going to be in the game. It reminds me of Snipper Clips in a kind of a weird way, which I
hmm
love Snipper Clips. I think this could be some fun. I don't think it would be like fun for. It could be fun for like an hour, 30 minutes sessions, but I can't see myself playing for hours. But I think it's a kind of a cute idea. What do you think, Micah?
Yeah, this looks like a great party game, something to bring out with your friends. Maybe they're sick of 1-2 switch and you say, "Oh, I'm going to bring this out." I
Yeah.
hated snipper clips because it made me
Oh,
so anxious. It made me really
okay.
anxious. Like I cannot describe to you the panic that I felt playing snipper clips. A really cute game, really great game. I
Mm-hmm.
can't do it. This are like kind of brought up some of the same feelings, but I think this would be a really fun party game. I like that it's a range of 2 to 8 players. If you have that many Joy Cons, I mean, who Richie Rich over here
Yeah.
having 8 Joy
Yeah.
Cons at his house.
Yeah. Wow. Rich kid. All right. Next, we had a quick montage of games. First, we had Shovel Knight, Shovel of Hope DX. This is like a collection that includes all the Shovel Knight stuff, some other things like that, some bells and whistles. Shovel Knight's great. You should play it. Euphoria. Explore a breathtaking world of lakes, meadows, and mountains scattered within the remains of a fallen civilization. Euphoria. Run, glide, and fly across the landscape. Solve mysteries in the ruins of fallen utopia and discover the story of the last human alive. Coming October 11th. Micah, what did you think about this? I know we just saw it very briefly, but what did you think of what you saw?
Yeah, well, first thought, it reminded me of Homestar Runner because Strong Bad would talk
Yeah.
about Europa. So, but this looks interesting. I'm not sure if it's actually going to be a game for me, but it looks really cool. The kid's got this like, if I'm remembering correctly, the video will not load. Oh yeah, he's got like this little jetpack that he's
Yeah,
like
just like little
flying
pack on
around
his
with.
back you can glide
I mean,
with.
he reminds me of Gara from Naruto because he has
Oh
like that
yeah, his
gourd.
gourd, yeah.
Um, but B, yeah, this like little jetpack he's flying around with looks pretty cool. That's one I'd like to see a little more gameplay of before I decide, but I like the concept.
Yes, you're right. It is Europa. I don't know why I was saying Euphoria, but it's Europa, I
You're
believe.
just obsessed with that HBO program.
I know, dude. I so can't get enough of it. I don't know. Yeah, this game looks all right. Looks kind of jolly. Could be fun. I'll keep an eye on it.
It has like a Studio Ghibli quality.
Yeah, kind of like
to
a
it
little
as
more
well.
scuffed, a little bit, like just a little bit, like not as great. Definitely inspired from it though. Cuisinier, I guess that's how you say that. A super cute and tasty roguelike dungeon crawler and restaurant sim. Explore a lush world and defeat monsters with your trusty spatula and some boba tea. Then gather delicious ingredients and bring them home to cook and serve at your restaurant. Coming January 28th next year. What do you think? This little mouse game running around, building, smashing stuff, and setting up your restaurant in your little town?
Yeah, this actually interests me quite a bit because I did enjoy Hades, as I mentioned. So
Right.
I like the look of this. I, of course, love, cooking and baking in real life. I also am a big fan of like Cooking Mama and Overcooked. I love when games incorporate cooking or, in Dave the Diver, the like restaurant sim part of it. I loved that section of the gameplay, running your little sushi bar.
Yeah.
And I just loved games like Diner Dash when I was a kid, all those little cafe type games. There was one where you had to decorate cakes that I remember playing online for free, where like, I just love games that incorporate cooking. So this one actually is on my list of games I'd like to check out.
Okay, nice. Get the Micah update on that. When was that coming out again?
January.
January 28th. Okay, not too far away. The next game, On Your Tail, set in the charming seaside village of Borgo Marinia. On Your Tail follows the adventures of intrepid Diana in pursuit of the perfect summer vacation. For a curious spirit like her, that means three things. Explore her new surroundings as she gets to know each eccentric inhabitants, unwind with some of the area's iconic residential activities, and get to the bottom of some of Borgo's Marina's most puzzling local mysteries. This looks like a furry game right off the bat. I don't know what the hell you are in this. Are you like a deer or something like that?
I
It
think
could be okay
so.
though. Looks like if you're into like a puzzle adventure games like that, could be some fun there, I guess. I personally have no interest in it. What about you?
Yeah, the furry aspect is what completely ruins it for me. I have a real dislike of mascots. It's one of my biggest fears is
Oh,
mascots. It's why I'll never go to Disney. But like
wait, what? You have a
furries,
fear of mascots?
terrified. I had to
Oh
high
my god.
five like the Minuteman at a UMass basketball game one time, and I thought I was gonna collapse. Like
Holy shit.
I met like Mario and Luigi at PAX East one year, and like I was screaming on the inside. Like Luigi put his arm around me, and I was just like ah, like
Oh
this
my god.
yeah, I don't like mascots, and that
Okay.
translates over to furries as well. They really
Sure.
bother me. So,
Yeah.
they lost me with the look of the game. I like the idea of it. It reminds me of what's the game where the lady is like a mailman and she spends like a summer at a lake?
Late.
I Yeah, yeah, okay. Well, it kind of gives me a vibe of that, like something
Yeah.
cozy, little
Yeah.
mysterious, but
You're right.
they
Yeah.
ruined it with furries.
Yeah. She's like exploring like a church looks like it on a boat or something, then walking around town.
Yeah.
So could be all right. Next. Oh, that's coming November 21st. Next, we have Metal Slug Tactics. Get ready for an intense ride through the best of both worlds. Classic arcade action, roguelike tactical thrills. Jump into the combat zone and revive your Metal Slug nostalgia in a whole new way coming this fall. No release date on this game still. This game got announced so long ago. I love Metal Slug. I'm very curious about this game. I'll be keeping an eye on it. Micah, I know you like tactical games. What do you think about this?
Yeah, they might have something here for me. I have never played Metal Slug. I do think it was one of the like arcade cabinets at a pizza place in my hometown, but I
Yeah.
never actually played it. I remember kids talking about it, and I think that was what we had at this little place, Athens Pizza, which closed. One of the best pizza places ever.
Damn. Rip.
So I don't have that nostalgia for it, but I do love tactics games, as you mentioned. So
Mhm.
this is one I might check out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely curious about it. All right. Are we still in Indie Land? Yes, we are. Next, we had The Plucky Squire. We've seen this game quite a bit over the years, I want to say, but this is an awesome looking game, in my opinion. Storybook, like you play. It's like I don't know how you describe it. It looks like a Zelda esque kind of game on a book, but I don't know. Micah, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, I think I love the art style. As you mentioned, though, a little Zelda-esque, so I'm not sure I'm gonna like it because I never
Yeah.
like those. But I do keep seeing this on like Twitter and everything because I think it's
Hmm.
getting either limited run or somebody's doing a physical edition of this. I keep seeing it. The art style is really cute. I do
Yeah.
love the storybook aspect. But I'm not sure it's a Micah game.
Yeah, look at the trailer. Like I totally forgot. It's like it's 2D, like you're in the book or whatever, but then you can come out of the book and it like turns more
Yeah.
3D. So it looks really cool. I'm definitely gonna play it. Coming out very soon. I think September 17th. So yeah, very soon. Looks awesome. All right, and the final game for the indie part of the direct was Pizza Tower. This came out on PC, I think, last year. Really fun platform. I never finished it, but I played quite a bit of it. It was a really good time. Very insane art style. Very this game like reminds me of like adrenaline. It just like it feels like probably you've taken an adrenaline shot or something on the chest. That's what it reminds me of. What do you think of this, Micah?
Yeah, I think Game Grumps did a playthrough of this, and
Yes, they
the
probably did.
facial expressions are hilarious. And I
Mhm.
love his different like, at one point, he turns into, like, a little ghost, but he still has, like, the big nose and everything. The art style of this is fantastic. I love the way he's zipping around the screen. I don't really enjoy these type of, like, really fast platformers, but it looks incredible. There's a guy in our Discord, Johnny Waffles, who is like the champion of this game and is always recommending it to
Oh,
people. So
really?
I'm sure
That's
he's
funny.
thrilled that it's getting even more exposure on other consoles. I'm glad it's coming to Switch because it seems like the perfect place to play it. Like this game screams handheld, but it is too difficult for me.
It's out today. Also, we're recording this
Excellent.
on a Tuesday, so it's available now by the time you listen to this. So yeah, check it out if you're curious. Funny thing about Giant Waffles, he brought him up. Whenever he comes into my stream, he always just starts to sing "I'm here to party" every single time for like 6 months. It's very funny. All right, then we got, or now we head over to the partner direct section. This mega double decker direct. First game we see is Tetris Forever. I know you love Tetris, Micah. Here we go. The true story of Tetris, the game that still captivates the world after 40 years. In Tetris Forever, an all new interactive documentary game from the retro specialists at Digital Eclipse, you can play more than 15 different classic Tetris games while exploring the history of the series through over an hour of all new documentary footage coming 2024. If you're a big Tetris fan, man, this is probably right up your alley, especially if you're into the history of it. I know Digital Eclipse has done some collections in the past, and they've been very highly regarded, especially from like a historical standpoint. So I personally don't care about this, but I know a lot of people will. Maybe Chris will be into it. But for me and Micah, no thank you. We're good. We're okay. Next, we have Star Overdrive. Speed into the unknown in Star Overdrive. Battle and explore a vast world where creativity is key in overcoming challenges, launching as a timed exclusive in 2025. This is an interesting game. You have like a hoverboard. It looks like he's like a piano or like a guitar on his back. The character like that, you're cruising through the desert on this hoverboard, doing flips and shit, walking around. It looks okay. Oh, there's combat and stuff like that, fighting a bunch of guys. It looks like there's some puzzles, like tethering things together. Probably inspired by Zelda or something like that. It looks like it could be fun. What do you think of this, Micah?
Yeah, cool idea here. The movement reminds me of just how fast like Sunset Overdrive was, except
Yeah.
like he's not like constantly doing that. Sunset Overdrive, a big part of it was like you're almost constantly in motion. Even when you're like firing on enemies, you're like looping around on rails around everything. It
Mm-hmm.
just gave me a little bit of that memory though, of just seeing the way he's zipping around on his hoverboard. I don't think it's for me, like, the whole, like, keyboard thing, and I'm like, "Oh, this is like a Star-Lord type thing." It's like, "Okay." It's like, it's Guardians of the Galaxy, Sunset Overdrive, hodgepodge. Looks cool. Neat idea. I'm not gonna check this one out.
Okay. Next, we have Goat Simulator 3. Tap into the hooves of Pilgor the goat and recapture across the island of Angoria in the sandbox experience unlike any other. Out today digitally, this game. I've played some of the first. Goat Simulator is just pure chaos. It is fun though. Micah, are you into this?
Yeah, I remember playing the original. It is fun. I just can't believe we're making more. I can't believe that it's Goat Simulator 3. Like, you have to
Yeah.
be kidding me. It's fun. It is crazy. I get it's Goat Simulator for a whole new generation.
Yeah,
But I think if you've played it once, you understand it.
yeah, you're probably right. It's for like the skibbity toilet kids and all that shit. Probably they're probably
Yeah,
into that. Some of your nephews or whatever probably into it.
exactly. Yeah.
All right, next we have a montage. The first game they show, I can't believe this was in the montage and they barely spent any time on it. I was very surprised. Was The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky the first? This is a remake of Legend of Hero Trails in the Sky, which was a PSP game and on PC also, I believe. This is the beginning of the Trail series that everyone keeps telling me to play and never shuts up about. I will play this, everyone, okay? Maddie told me I gave Maddie the choice of what to play, and he picked me to play KOTOR, okay? And he said he thinks there's going to be a remake of the game. He was right. He called it. Well done, Maddie. So I will be finally playing the series when this remake comes out. I think it looks pretty damn good, especially compared to a PSP game for where it was. What do you think of this, Micah?
Oh, very interested in this because much like you, I have never played one of these. And this is one of those series where we talk about where do you jump into this? The
Yeah.
timeline is odd. There's the sub series of games. Where do you start? This is giving someone like me a really obvious starting place on a console that I have access to. I own one of these games for Vita. But then I
Mm-hmm.
found out it's like not a great place to start. So I said, well, and it's also doesn't like Colin played it on PS5 and it has like all these quality of life upgrades. Like it lets you sprint, which literally just shaves hours off the game because you can only walk. So I'm like, well, I'm not going to play that one. So I am excited for this because it's going to give me a very clear place to get into this series. If I
Yeah.
like it, at least give me a place to try it with confidence. And if I'm not into it, that's cool. But if I really like it, I have a starting place now.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the ideal scenario for us, a full remake of the original game that we can just hop right into. I love it. We will be there day one. Hopefully, we enjoy it because I know people love this series. But we're going to check it out. Next, Star Wars Hunters Season 3 online multiplayer game getting a new season coming September 26th. Looks like an Ewok or something like that. I don't know. Whatever. Next, we have Stalker Legends of the Zone trilogy, the original trilogy coming in November. Did you ever play the Stalker games?
No, and this looks awesome. So I'm
Okay.
kind of into this.
Yeah, I've never played it either. But I know like Stalker 2's coming out or whatever, so I guess that's a different trilogy. I don't really know what's going on there, but I know people like these games a lot, so that's awesome. Happy it's coming to Switch. We also have Worms Armageddon Anniversary Edition coming to Switch September 26th. I like Worms, fun shit. Did you ever play Worms, Micah?
No, I've not. This
Okay,
looks like
okay,
insanity.
okay, yeah. I used to play this game called Gunbound. It was like a Korean version of Worms or whatever. It's really cool, but yeah, I always have a fondness for these games. They're really fun, actually, especially with your friends. Next, we have the montage is over, I believe. Yes. Next, we had SpongeBob SquarePants: The Patrick Star Game. Explore Bikini Bottom as a sandbox playground using various objects to create physics-defying fun. The game features missions from beloved characters like SpongeBob, Mr. Krabs, Sandy, and Plankton, and includes iconic locations such as Glove World, The Dump, and Demolition Derby. Activities range from building Krabby Patties to causing chaos in Mrs. Puff's Rage Room, coming October 4th. Uh, is the Rage Room strictly because she hates SpongeBob or something? I remember that she has like nightmares about SpongeBob because she was like the driving teacher, right? The driving instructor, and he was just so
Right.
shitty at driving. This game looks awesome in my opinion, Micah. I definitely want to play it, especially as Patrick started rolling around with these goofy physics. I'm into that. I liked Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. I played that and I thought it was really fun. I haven't played the Cosmic Shake yet though, but I want to. But yeah, what do you think of this?
No, this looks very fun. I'm a huge SpongeBob fan, so it looks like
Yes,
they have a lot of different, jokes and bits in there. I'm hoping that this will get a physical release because this is like easiest Christmas present for my sister that I can think of. We are both SpongeBob fanatics. She has a Switch Lite that she loves, so I'm like, oh hell yeah. I
perfect.
also kind
Yeah,
of want to get her Oregon Trail. I think she'd like that too. So It's like that would be like the third copy I've bought. But I'm think this looks really fun. It looks like they have a lot of awesome jokes for fans of the series kind of wrapped in
Mm-hmm.
here.
Yeah, the exploding pie. I was like, oh, I remember that one. Yeah, it's a great one. Yeah, coming October 4th, so pretty soon. Looking good. Next, we have Fitness Boxing 3, your personal trainer, just another workout game like that. Don't really care about it, but cool for the people out there. Are you interested in this?
No, I thought it was really funny though when they're like, you can customize the trainer's hair, and they're just showing the different hairstyles. It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
what? Like you can't change their clothes, but you could change their hair. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, you
All
maybe you
right,
just
sure.
shouldn't have, because like
Yeah.
who cares?
Who cares, dude? But yeah. Shout out for all you working out with the Switch. Keep going. All right, next, King. Now we're talking, man. Now we're talking Brad announcements here. Capcom Fighting Collection 2. This will be a collection to remember. Capcom Fighting Collection 2 on Nintendo Switch includes 8 fighting games from across Capcom's history and will release in 2025. We got Capcom vs. SNK Millennium Fight 2000 Pro, Capcom vs. SNK 2 Mark of the Millennium 2001, Capcom Fighters Evolution, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper, Project Justice, and Power Stone and Power Stone 2, as well as Plasma Sword and Nightmare of Blistine. I've played a lot of these games growing up, Micah, so I'm very excited. I'm very surprised and happy to see Power Stone, especially. That's like a cult favorite game. People really like that fighting game. Are you have any interest in any of these? Do you care about any of the fighting games? No, that's okay. You don't have to.
No. Well, I had a moment of I thought they already announced this at
That's
the
a different
last
one.
direct. Exactly.
That's a
That's what
different one. Yeah.
happened to me. I'm sorry. If Gene was here, Gene would be blowing his load all over this or right
Yeah,
alongside you. But unfortunately, no. I'm terrible at fighting games.
that's
It's my
okay.
greatest lament. That's my yeast 8 lacrimosa of Dana. I'm lacrimose.
That's okay. Just a bunch of rad fighting games. Capcom one's coming out on modern platforms. I'd love to see it. Good job, Capcom. And of course, we got more of Capcom, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classic. This is the other one you're probably thinking of.
Right.
Get hyped as the high-flying action of Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics hyper combos its way onto Nintendo Switch September 12th digitally and November 22nd physically. So we didn't know the date before, but now we got the date. This has got all those Marvel vs. Capcom games. You got Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2. You got X-Men vs. Street Fighter probably in there. Really cool shit in there. I'll definitely be checking it out when it comes out. All right. How do you say this? Altair. I don't remember how you say the series name.
I think it's
Altair.
Atelier.
Atelier. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people like these games, but I've never played them. Atelier. And Atelier Umia, The Alchemist of Memories and the Envisioned Land. This sounds like a game you would play, Micah.
Yeah, I'm
Just
hyped
by
for
the name
this.
alone. Oh, you're hyped for this? Okay.
Yeah.
An alchemy JRPG themed around memory. It tells the story of Umia, an alchemist, as she confronts her past, her memories, and the art of alchemy, progressing along the path she believes, despite her doubts. Coming 2025. So you're excited for this?
Yeah, I have only played one of the Atelier games before. I played it on Vita. It was once again during the PlayStation Summer Sale. I got it for 99
Okay.
cents. I fundamentally misunderstood that the game was timed. So, like, I can't remember which one I played. She had blonde hair. That's not descriptive at all. Anyways, your sister is missing, and you have to find your sister. And
Right.
the game did not make it clear enough to my dumb brain that there was a time limit. So I'm like
Oh.
doing side missions and like whatever. And literally, like one day a dude just shows up and he's like, I found your sister. And that the game ends
Oh
because I
my
ran out
god.
of time. And so they just find her for me. And it's like, you didn't find her.
Oh my god, that's funny.
I never tried another one of those games since. I later learned that they're not all timed. I learned
Okay.
later on that only some of the ones in the series have that hard set. Like you have 60 in-game days to do this. I wanted to try what's the girl with the thighs? You know what I'm talking about? It's Atelier something, and it's a
Oh,
girl with
dude,
the
I
big
do know what you're
thighs.
talking about.
Yeah, there's
Saying
like 3 of
thighs
those
doesn't.
now.
She has like
Uh,
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, why can't I think of that? Is it that
well, so
serious?
Yeah, it's the same series. So there's 3 of those, and I've heard that they're okay. It's honestly like a funny thing. There's so many good reviews for it on Amazon, but it's just because they're like she's so hot, and it's like that's not what I'm
Yeah, it's
asking. I'm
a
asking, is
Coomer
it
game. Yeah,
good?
100%.
Um, but so I considered getting into that series, but they are getting pretty expensive, like to get physical copies. There might have
Mhm.
been a reprint at some point, but I didn't jump on it at the time. So this I'm excited for because they said it's like a new series altogether. So I don't have to worry about this or knowing any other of the games. This will be its own experience. So I am pretty excited for this because the series does interest me. I just kind of missed the boat on a lot of it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah, I think these were on PS2, I want to say is when they started. I could be thinking of a different series, but I want to say it was like PS2.
There's a
Atelier.
lot of them. Like you
I
look
know.
this game up. Oh, it's Ryza. Atelier Ryza, I think, is the Thigh lady.
Rise.
I think
Rise.
that sounds
Okay.
real. Maybe
Sure.
it's
We'll go with
Riza.
that. Yeah, we'll go with that. It's too many to keep track of. I don't know. We're doing our best, all right, everybody? All right, next we have Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remastered, Gate Rune, and Den Dunan Unification War, coming March 6, 2025. Finally got a date for Suikoden. Much later than I expected it to be. I thought it was going to come out this year. But happy to see it get a date finally. I've never played these games, and I know people love them, so I'm very excited to try it. I will definitely be playing it when it comes out. What about you, Micah?
Yeah, 100%. I never got to experience these, so I will be there. I'm actually happy that that's not coming out till next year, just to put a little space between some of the other games we have coming out, like
Yeah.
Dragon Quest III, for example. I'm happy to put some distance between these, and I'm really excited for this. The art style for like the anime portion reminded me so much of like Fruits Basket, so like
Mm,
there's a lot of
mhm.
nostalgia there. But yeah, this is one that's top of my list to play.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. Now we're in the Brad block right here, the double hitters. Okay, we got Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. Dive into brand new gameplay from Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake and discover how to customize your party's locations and appearance. Use different battle strategies to defeat the monsters you'll encounter and view exclusive content not seen in the original game. One of the things they talked about was a new location, the Monster Wrangler, which uses monster-like abilities. I should have wrote that quotations. That's what they said. I assume this is Dragon Quest versions of Blue Mage, which is essentially you just use enemy skills. Seems cool. This game's gonna be sick. We're all in. I assume everyone's fucking pumped for this game.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And the biggest surprise for me, I when I saw this, I actually verbally was shocked. Went, what? Is Castlevania Dominus Collection. Dracula is back. Rediscover Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow, Portrait of Ruin, and Order of Ecclesia, bundled together in Castlevania Dominus Collection. These 3 classic Metroidvania games originally released on the Nintendo DS are now returning on Nintendo Switch. But that's not all. Haunted Castle, the very first Castlevania game on the arcade, returns in a completely reimagined version. Now with extra features such as save states or rewind. There's never been a better time to face Dracula and the forces of evil. Out today. That's what I'm talking about. Already bought it, already purchased, ready to play this game. Very excited. I love Castlevania so much. I know Colin shit his pants too also when he found out about this. He's very
Yeah.
happy. Um we're getting through these Castlevania games. I'm really happy they did the DS ones because it probably took a little more time to tweak some stuff from the DS versions because there was touchscreen stuff, but I'm happy they did it. I wonder how they do it. I haven't played it yet, so I'm very curious to find out more about that. Micah, do you care about these at all?
Oh, I don't care about Castlevania specifically, but I am really happy to see them bringing DS titles forward. Because as you mentioned, there's a special care to take with the second screen functionality, and what do you
Mm-hmm.
do with that? And for a game like right now playing Dragon Quest 8, and for the most part, like the second screen is just your map. The map's
Yeah.
always up. That's not difficult to really work around. If you were gonna port that over, it's like, okay, well, the map is a button like any other game. But some of the DS games, that second screen functionality was much more complicated. So
Yeah.
I'm just happy to see them putting in the effort to bring DS games forward. And just really stoked for all the Castlevania fans in my
Mm-hmm.
life. But most of what I felt was just like, oh, sick. Putting DS games on Switch. I want to see more of that.
Yes. Yes, it is a good day today. Castlevania fans were always desperate for Castlevania, so the
Y'all so
remastered all their
thirsty.
games. Yeah, we're so thirsty.
You're
We need it.
parched.
Yeah, we're parched big time. So we're happy to get it. Now we got to do the 3D games after that. Then we've pretty much done most of them. So hell yes. Next, Sid Meier's Civilization 7 coming out February 11th, 2025. Beloved series. I've actually not really played much Civilization, but I always wanted to get into it. What about you?
Yeah, so this very much intrigues me, mostly because having known Holly, Dustin's wife,
Mm-hmm.
she is a huge Civilization fan,
Yes, she
and
is. Yeah.
she really sold me on it. But Dustin cautioned me and said Civ 6 on Switch is awful. Like, he's like,
Yeah.
Holly plays it because she loves it so much, but it does not run well. And he's like, wait till it's on the next Switch. This gives me a moment of pause because this is coming to regular Switch. And
Yeah.
I'm like, ooh, Dustin said Civ 6 barely runs. How's this gonna work?
It's gonna
This
blow
is
up.
something I'm interested in, but I would genuinely wait to see if it's on Switch 2. Like, give me a
Yeah.
version of it there, because I don't have much confidence in this.
Yeah. What if I told you that's me with most Switch ports? That's my mindset. Nah, I'll wait for Switch 2 or I'll get on something else usually. Because yeah, I'm afraid this would blow up your Switch or drain the battery in 30 minutes or something like that. It feels like.
Right. Like, he said 6 runs well enough that Holly will play it, but it is definitely not her preferred one to play or
Right.
preferred way to play. It is like strictly for they're traveling somewhere and she wants to bring a game, that's something she will bring out, but that is not prime time gaming, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But it's cool. It's an option there for people. So shout out. All right, next. This is really funny timing, especially Mike. I
Oh
think
my
we were
god.
making fun of this during the show. Tales
Yeah.
of Grace's F remastered is coming out. Bonds Transcend Time. Tales of Grace's F remastered lets you journey back to the world of Euphemia anywhere you are in the world with the Nintendo Switch. Journey once again with Asbel and his friends with visual improvements and download content released in the original coming 2025. This was so funny. I was making fun of Richard, I think, at the episode. I can't remember when we recorded it, but wow, okay. I mean, more Tales games. That's great. I know people enjoy this. I personally pass it on. I'm good. Once was enough for me on the PS3. I've had enough. What about you, Mike? I know you love Tales games.
Yeah, and I own this for PS3, as we mentioned. That's the last time I played
Yeah.
it, so cool that they're bringing it forward, but as soon as I heard the name Asbel, I was like, "Oh my god, that's what we used to make fun of," because I think his name is Asbel Launch,
Yeah.
and my friends and I used to call him Asbelch Lunch. And, like, so, I mean, I played the whole game, it was fine, but, like, we were
Same. Me
dogging
too.
on him the whole time, so
Yeah. Easy to
I don't
dog.
wanna
And his
see it
outfit.
again.
His outfit too. He had like bell bottoms. I was like, what is this? Yeah.
Yeah, the whole and Sophie was weird, okay? Like, I'm just saying it, that game I love the Tales game, that game's fucking weird. No, I don't ever wanna see it again. I'm glad they're doing this, but I never
Yeah,
wanna
I'm
play
good.
it again.
I'm good. There's other Tales games I probably need to play before it anyways again.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. I saw it's gonna be on every other platform, of course, and it'll run at 60 frames, which is nice because I know what was the collection that came out recently? Was it Symphonia? That was not 60 frames on anything, so at least they learned this time, I guess. So keep it up, Bandai, I guess.
It's the wrong
All right.
show.
Yeah. Sorry, I know people out there probably love this game, but we're just having fun with it. All right, next we have My Sims Cozy Bundle. Make adorable friends and discover creative adventures across retro re-releases of two lovable games. Use your imagination to rebuild a town in My Sims and help a cute magical land become an even better place in My Sims Kingdom, coming November 19th. Are you in, Micah?
I feel like if I played this, I would feel like a predator. Like, this is a children's game. I
This
don't
is a very
belong
children's
here.
game.
Yeah.
It looks like a scuffed Animal Crossing. I mean, it's the Sims version of Animal Crossing. It looks very similar, but not nearly as good, I guess. But if you like Animal Crossing and The Sims, maybe this will be your jam. But for me, Micah, no thank you.
No.
All right, next. Oh, I'm sorry. The next game, Five Nights at Freddy's. Help Wanted to and Security Beach. These are 2 separate games. They're a first-person shooter, Five Nights at Freddy's. All the kids love that shit. Or I don't know what that generation is. I guess Zoomers. Dude, all the Zoomers love Five Nights at Freddy's and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Have you played Five Nights at Freddy's, Micah?
No. But as I often say, I've watched Game Grumps play it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I
I love
God,
that.
this is too scary for me. I'm not into this at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a huge series with so many like spin-off games, so I mean it could be fun. I have no idea. I like first-person horror, so it could be sick, but I don't know anything about Five Nights at Freddy's. But could be interesting. All right, next we have a montage. Disney's Epic Mickey rebrushed September 24th demo out now. I'm gonna buy this. I think Epic Mickey was the last game I got as a gift for like a holiday back on the Wii. I remember I got it on Christmas. I think that was like the last time I ever got a game. And I remember it was okay. It's not great. I remember it was not great. It was okay. I liked a lot of parts of it, so I am curious and I want to revisit it. What about you?
Oh, Epic Mickey terrified me.
Oh, it's a mascot. I forgot. Sorry.
See, I like Mickey Mouse. Generally speaking, I like Mickey Mouse, but Epic Mickey
Luigi.
scares me. I don't know why. So this brought back a lot of PTSD for me. But another one that really cool that they're bringing this Wii game forward, but platforming, no, and it's scary, no.
Nah. Yeah, I'll check it out. So wait, you're not afraid of Mickey, but you're afraid of Luigi?
Oh no, it was like it was a life-size Luigi. It was made of a suit.
But if it was a life-size Mickey, you'd be afraid?
Oh, terrified. Like, I swear to God, I will never go to Disney. If you wanted me to go to Disney, you'd have to, like, knock me out, put me in a sack, open it, somewhere in the park and leave me there.
Yeah, we could do that if you want.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to.
Okay.
I don't want it. So, I do want the turkey leg and I want the Dole Whip.
Oh, the turkey leg. And the Dole Whip. Oh, it's so good. The pineapple Dole Whip, man.
But I gotta contend with the mascots. Like, they make me feel so uncomfortable.
You can avoid a lot of them, though, Micah.
Can
They're
you?
usually like in certain sections, yeah.
Oh.
You can avoid.
See, I'm unfamiliar. I assume that you go there and it's just crawling with them.
Yeah, you don't walk in, they like fucking berate you with mascots or shit where they just like get up all close to you. That doesn't really happen. Just avoid the parades and stuff like that, and you'll be probably okay.
All right, I'll consider it.
All right. Next game was Tales of the Shire, Lord of the Rings game coming holiday 2024. Looks like an Animal Crossing style game. You look excited. You're smiling right now. Are you playing this?
I want it to be so good. I want this. I love Lord of the Rings. I'm scared. I'm terrified that it's going to be shit, but I really want this to be good. I don't think it will be. I think it kind of looks like shit. I don't have any confidence, but I really want it to be good.
Yeah, it sounds delightful, doesn't it? Just playing in the Shire and like making your house and planning shit. And there's Gandalf there, and I was like, wow, this looks really cozy, but
it
also kind of looks like it could be really bad. So I don't know.
It looks bad. I'll say it. Like, this game looks bad. So I don't know.
What it's gonna do. But me and Michael will keep an eye on this one. We'll let you guys know.
Absolutely.
We'll know the future. Maybe I'll do a whole summit time dedicated to it.
Oh, hell yeah. A Let's Play series.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do our own Game Grumps for it. We'll make one up.
Oh my God,
Game Grumps,
I've never streamed a game.
Game runs.
That'll be my debut as a streamer. I've never streamed anything.
Oh yeah, you got to come up with like a Game Grumps name though now.
All right. We'll
I know you have your
Mama
Micah nickname, but yeah, we should workshop that. Get
you
back up there.
Dude, my Twitch account, it's Cockring King. There we go.
Cockring King, that's very appropriate. Yes, for our young child audience.
You told them to leave. You told them to leave like 20 minutes ago.
Don't come back. Yeah, don't come back. I don't want your parents to get mad at us. Okay, next we had Funko Fusion. This is a mega skip from me. I hate Funko Pops. No, thank you. EA Sports FC 25. Soccer game, don't really care, but shout out to everyone who is excited for it. No, thank you for me. Lego Horizon Adventures, and this also no date yet, just said holiday, but I'm seeing leaked reports or people saying it's in November when this will come out. Very interesting game. Colin has talked about this in great detail, I'm sure.
Yes.
on Sacred Symbols. But yeah, very bizarre to see this game coming to Switch. Makes tons of sense financially though. So whole new era, man. It's Wild West again in gaming. Things are changing. All right. Then we have Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma, the classic action RPG and life simulation gameplay beloved by Rune Factory fans the world over, is boldly reimagined in Guardians of Azuma, an all-new adventure set in the eastern lands of Azuma. In once thriving land, this never-before-seen region was struck by a terrible calamity. The gods of nature vanished, causing land to wither and the people to suffer. For the very first time, play as Earth Dancer and call upon unique powers to battle blighted monsters and restore land, people, villages, and the gods to their natural glory. Coming spring 2025. A Japanese aesthetic for Rune Factory. I don't know if they've ever done that before. Are you into this, Micah?
I have never played a Rune Factory game. They always pique my interest because I love
Mm-hmm.
Harvest Moon type games. And
Yeah.
I think this mix, of course, of action RPG and the Harvest Moon elements, of course, it sounds like something right up my alley. I've just never actually tried one. And this is
Okay.
another series where there are so many, and it's like, doesn't matter where I start. This seems like a pretty obvious place that I could jump in. So I'll wait and see how it is reviewed. I don't give reviews all like the weight, but I'll
Yeah,
wait
of
and make
course.
sure it's not like a 3. And so long as it's not terrible, I'll probably check this out.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you ever played Harvestella? That was
No,
on
I was
Switch.
interested in that.
Okay. So recently on Summon Time, I guess Mr. Happy, he played it and he said it's actually really good.
Oh yeah?
So maybe check it out. He said it's more RPG than you think, I guess. So that looks like it could be up your alley. But yeah, this looks like another crafting RPG game. Looks delightful, but there's a million of these games, so not really for me. But once again, shout out to everyone who's excited for it because this is a people like this series a lot, so it's cool to see a new installment. And finally, kind of I guess this is like the big stinger at the end. I guess when I saw this, I was like, oh, well, okay. It didn't seem like a huge deal to me, but Yakuza Kiwami is coming to Switch on October 24th. I love the Yakuza series. I've played pretty much all of them except the newest one. Micah, are you finally into getting the series? Now they
Oh
get played
yeah,
on Switch?
I
Oh,
love
okay. Was it
Yakuza.
Colin that hasn't played it then?
Yes, yeah, he has
Okay,
not. I keep telling him just play 0. All right, I keep telling him that.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm stoked about this. I have some concerns of how it will run on Switch. It's not the
Not good
craziest
problem.
game in the world, but the city is
Right.
alive. You play
Yeah.
this game and people are milling about. There's so many dynamic things that happen. I have mild concerns about that how this would run on Switch. Because they didn't bring 0 over, did they? And
No.
that's a much longer game. Like Kiwami's much shorter.
Yeah.
So it's cool that they're doing this. I personally am like, when it comes to jumping into the Yakuza games, like I recommend everyone start with 0 if they've never
Hmm.
played, because I think it makes Kiwami that much better. I think the story of Kiwami is 10 times more impactful if you've already played 0. But if you're new to this and it's on Switch, so long as it runs well, hell yeah. This is
Yeah.
really cool to see the series over here.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping it would be more than just the first game right away because there's so many of them. I guess they're just maybe testing the waters to see how it does.
Yeah.
But hopefully it'll run okay, Micah. I mean, Kiwami was on PS3, so I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know if the Switch is powerful as PS3 or not. Probably not, but hopefully they can get it going on there. It's cool you can play a handheld. That's really sick. I respect that. If this gets people into the series, that's great. It's an awesome series. So kind of a big deal. Not really a big deal. It wasn't like the stinger for me. I was just kind of like, whatever. But I guess it's like a big deal for them to finally get the series on Switch. But that's it. That was it for both the directs. We had the indie direct and the partner showcase direct, both together combo pack, which I enjoyed. Micah, what were some of your favorite things here?
Yeah, I am gonna go back to definitely the Suikoden remaster.
Hmm.
Literally, I made a list of my favorites. That is at
Okay,
the
yeah,
top of my list. And then Atelier Yumiya, because I have been kind of like on the edge of wanting to try that series out for a long time. I wanted to get back into the Atelier games. Like Ryza, though, having a trilogy like that, I never jumped in. This is my chance now. Fresh start.
Yeah.
So that is definitely one that I'm super excited for, that I wasn't expecting at all. Because at first when I saw the Atelier pop up, and I said, it's going to be another one in that series. Maybe it's like the fourth one. Seeing that it's a new place for me to hop in, that does really have me excited.
Yeah. Nice. I guess for me, Castlevania is obviously the most exciting for me just because it's out too, and I love that series. I'm really excited about Legend of Heroes. Trails in the Sky the First, hilarious name. But we all know if a game has a hilarious name, it's going to be a good game, right? That's just the way it is. So I'm very excited for that. I think, dude, SpongeBob looks pretty good. I'm pretty excited about SpongeBob. I'm going to play that. I can't wait to roll it out as Patrick or something like that. And of course, the Capcom collections. Super excited for. And Dragon Quest. But I've been excited. We've been excited for Dragon Quest forever. You know, we're just like ready for that shit now. We don't need to see any more of that game. But great to see Suikoden 1 and 2 get dates. So yeah, some great shit in here. Tales of Remastered F, or Tales of F races, dude. Still coming. That's still so funny to me. That's still so funny. We were just talking about that. But yeah, that's it for this little pickup section of the direct that me and Micah covered. Fortunately, Gene can't be here. Maybe we can get his thoughts on the next episode. We'll get into that kind of stuff because I'm sure he'll have plenty to say about a lot of these games. But yeah, I don't know where Ben's going to stick this in the episode, the beginning or the end. I'm not really sure. But thanks for checking out this segment. Back to the show, or that's the end of the show. I don't know. Take care. Bye-bye. All right. It's time to end the show with some questions from the audience, as we do every episode. Remember, if you want to send in a question to this show and all of our other shows, head over to patreon.com/laststandmedia. We put a thread up a couple days before shooting or something like, usually before shooting, usually like 2 days. But this week was a little different just because we're shooting on a Sunday and not a Tuesday as we usually do. All right, this is from Onyx Osprey. Bonjour, Brick Beaters. On one of Kit and Chris's most recent podcasts, they shared some insight on why they believe Nintendo hasn't added achievements to their online service. It seems to be a combination of Nintendo wanting all players to feel equal, to not chase trends, and to allow players to focus simply on the game and not the trophy meta. Kit even said that a senior director was eviscerated during a pre-E3 meeting for merely suggesting they follow Xbox's lead in this area. What do you think of Nintendo's resistance to join every other platform with account-based achievements? And do you think it'll ever change? How furious do you think Colin would have been listening in on that meeting? Well, Colin was out on Switch after the Wii, I think, or on Nintendo. I think that's the part where he quit Nintendo. So I don't really know. But this whole thing about Kit and Krista, their theories on why they don't have them seems totally what Nintendo would say, 100%. Not wanting players to be on equal field, not wanting people to chase trends. Nintendo always wants to be the one to set trends. They do not like chasing trends. They always have to be the trendsetters in their mind. Mm-hmm. Even when it's a disaster, like still using your phone for voice chat on your system of choice. Ridiculous shit. And I could definitely see a senior director being eviscerated for suggesting that kind of thing. Nintendo is a super genius company, and they come up with incredible ideas, but I also think they are one of the most stubborn companies who just can't get with the times on some things. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally content with not having achievements on Switch. Boom. I used to be like a diehard achievement hunter on Xbox, and I just stopped doing it at a certain point. And I just enjoy the more leisurely quality that I feel when I'm not chasing trophies or achievements. There's nothing that grinds my gears more than playing something like Tales of Arise, and you play the whole game and you ended up getting, 5% of the trophies by the end. And it's like, I did almost everything, but I missed this little thing and this missable trophy. I can't stand it anymore. I don't want to play with a guide. I don't want to, ruin the experience in that way. So I just, games that are shorter, are kind of better for trophies to me. Like something like the Order 1886, I would consider going back to like get more trophies on. But even that, and I look back at it and just say, I just don't really want to.
Yeah,
so
you don't have to.
Yeah, I'm just cool with not having it. I'm cool with not having this thing that says like, oh, well, yeah, you beat the game and you did 5% as well on it, you know? I know that's not what it means, but it's how it feels. And so there's something about Nintendo that's completely stress-free when I play games over there. I don't have to worry about achievements or trophies, whatever. We also, too, Nintendo's account system hasn't been like consistent until like the Switch. And by that I mean like we had like the weird 3DS account, which eventually was updated to be like, you know, you had like what was your Nintendo Network ID, and like they did merge these accounts later, but it's like if there was achievements involved like in that era, how would they have fixed all that?
They wouldn't have. Just like if you lost your game, your Switch or your 3DS or whatever, your digital games, they're just fucking gone.
Right.
They're bound to the hardware.
I don't think Nintendo treats your user account the same way that Xbox or PlayStation does. And I don't think maybe with Switch, they have finally gotten to a place where like this will be the account that you will keep going forward. But for all we know, 3 consoles later, it'll be like, now it's the Nintendo Super Network ID and you have to do this and merge them. It's like, I don't know. They haven't had a track record of treating your account as this sacred thing that follows you forever. So I just don't know if they want to implement a system like that with the way that they kind of manage how our accounts work.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because some games have like built-in achievements, like first-party games. So it's like someone wants them, someone on the team wants them, but not the higher-ups quite yet. Gene, what do you feel about all this?
Yeah, I think it does track with Nintendo. Nintendo does want to be the trendsetter, but I think Nintendo also is worried about, I think they're generally worried about having a weird kind of competitiveness among the player base, because you think about how they've been, tailoring a lot of their online multiplayer. Look at NES World Championships. We don't even have online friend leaderboards. We can't even compete with our friends over the internet. So I think they have a real genuine fear about what the internet can do to this sense of human competition. And I don't know. I don't really understand it either. I get everyone's confusion, or I also understand. I also don't understand them in terms of why they're so afraid. So I would like a little bit more explanation, but it does seem consistent with their previous decisions on how they seem to like to. I mean, fuck it, the N64 looked like a Corvette because they insisted on making sure that it had four player controllers. So they really want us to somehow kind of work together. I feel like it's some kind of like Kojima type of ideology where they're definitely trying to be a Strand type of company.
Yeah.
You know what, Gene? You brought up something. They saw how sadistic we were with Mario Maker. That's what it did. They were like, look what these fucking people are doing to each other. They saw the levels people made, how horrifying they were, and they were like, we can't do this. Look how awful these people are already. Imagine if we gave them achievements. That's what did it.
So they were like, no more Smash at Evo because of people playing Mario Maker and shit like that. They had enough.
We ruined it. You know, it's like, because there's one Game Grumps would always play those like crazy Mario Maker levels that like Ross made. But and other players too, they would just play like the hardest Mario Maker levels they could find. And it's like, these are sadistic, what people were doing and murdering Yoshis left and right. It was a real like shit show. I think Nintendo saw that and said, nope, not these people. They're not ready yet.
They're not. Yeah. They don't deserve achievements. They haven't earned it. All right. Next question is from Traylon. Hey, gang. Were there any examples of the Wii U gamepad being used in a game that you actually liked? I was fond of the way it was used on Wind Waker HD, especially during the infamous shard collecting across the ocean part. The gamepad would show you a map where the treasure was. However, the gamepad battery didn't make that last too long before you were using the Pro controller. Anyways, have a great episode. Yes, the Wii U gamepad integration, how it was used in games. Who, in your opinion, used it well?
I think the best one for me was Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. I mean, otherwise, I fucking hated the gamepad and everything on it. But Captain Toad made it so essential that it was like, all right, yeah, I can see where you're going with this. But otherwise, I still hated it.
Yeah. Gene, what about you?
I don't know if there's any other. Wind Waker was great. Twilight Princess was good too, obviously, because I think in Twilight Princess you always had to pause to switch the items, and especially in Twilight Princess, there are certain dungeons where you have to switch between 3 items. You have to switch between the iron boots versus the surfing buzzsaw versus the fucking armor that helps you swim or whatever like that. And in the original game, you always had to pause and go into the main screen and select the item. But in Twilight Princess, you can just boop 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 boop, and you can just he just puts on the shoes right there, live in action. So all that stuff was really helpful. So I don't know. It was definitely a unique. You can definitely tell that they were trying to add more buttons, or it was kind of a way to add more buttons to gameplay, but it just didn't work, and nobody really used it right besides that and Batman Arkham City Armored Edition, which used the Gotham City map on the gamepad. Zombie U is great.
I was gonna say Zombie U is probably like the best version I've heard of this.
Exactly, yeah.
Where people liked it, where it worked well. The best one ever was Tropical Freeze, though, because it literally just didn't show anything or do anything. And I was like, thank God, you finally get it. You guys finally got it. But yeah, the Wii U gamepad, interesting idea. I don't think it was very comfortable to hold, and I didn't like playing a game like holding something this big. Very strange to me. And Zelda Gene, yeah, I think it's probably a pretty decent way to do it, but still, I'd rather use the Pro Controller all day on that kind of stuff. And
did either of you ever have the U-Draw game tablet?
No, I did not.
And I unironically loved that thing. I had it for Xbox 360, and it had Pictionary on it, and then there was like this little like alien game that you could play, and I genuinely loved that fucking thing. Okay, cool. I was the person who I loved all the weird peripherals. I had like the DJ Hero, little turntable. Like I loved weird peripherals on 360, but the Wii U gamepad, it's terrible. Like even I, as like a heathen who loved the U-Draw tablet, was like, this thing sucks.
Yeah, U-Draw like killed THQ. It did so bad.
And I fucking loved that thing. I was like, when do they make more games for this? I'm ready for new games. And then nope.
Yeah. Oh, also, I haven't played it yet, but Star Fox Zero heavily uses the gamepad, and everyone tells me it's fucking god awful. I mean, I bought it, I have it ready to go. I'm gonna play it sometime, but it's just like everyone's like, dude, don't even bother playing it. Don't even bother. That's a fucking depressing thought.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, when I booted up Xenoblade Chronicles X just to download like the update patch to make sure that it would indeed do so, and I was just like, I'm looking at the gamepad again for the first time in years. I was just like, I hate you. I hate you so much. And you're at the initial setup, so you can't switch to the Pro Controller. Like, you have to use it. And I was like, I just can't fucking stand this thing. And the battery life was terrible. This guy,
I have to keep mine plugged in.
Exactly. And it's like, depending on where your couch is, it's like not super convenient. It's like, I gotta get like an extension cord to have this thing plugged in. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
There's so many negatives to the Wii U. It really makes you wonder how it got that far in development. Because it just was. It's like we couldn't even improve the battery life a bit. There were negatives left and right.
I don't know. Desperate times in Nintendo there. Coming off Wii. They didn't know what the hell they were doing. They did not know. All right. This is from Parks and Rec. Hey, little honkers. Next year is shaping up to be one for the ages, and Super Switch is going to play into that in some form. playing to that for sure. My question is, what do you think will be its launch games? What do you want a launch game? Or what kind of launch games do you want? We expect a new 3D Mario game, but maybe Star Fox finally comes back? Donkey Kong? What say you, Punching Up Crew? What do you guys want? Launch games.
Metroid Prime.
The both the Switch version and Switch 2 version.
Sure, yeah, it's got to be cross-gen, right? Of course.
Yeah. Me
also,
too,
the Wii. Real quick on the Wii U. The Wii U is so confusing that even though I have a Wii U, I still, when I think about the Wii U, my first thought is still, oh, it must be an accessory for the Wii.
Oh my god!
Like that's how bad the branding is. The fact that 11 or 12 years later, I'm still thinking that it's confusing is crazy.
Yeah,
but,
totally.
Yeah, it's crazy that they fumbled the bag that much. But yeah, hopefully new 3D Mario. It's been so long. 2017.
We're due.
This is a huge gap.
It needs to be a launch title.
Yeah, we did get Mario Wonder and we got Bowser's Fury, so that kept us satisfied for a bit. But we definitely need to see a new Mario and what new innovation it might introduce.
Yeah, because Gene, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think any other first party could carry a new system launch besides Mario or Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think I don't know if it can, because Wii U didn't really start with a game with a Mario or Zelda game.
We had the 2D Mario Brothers.
That's it.
The new Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah. But the Wii launched with Twilight Princess, Switch launched with Breath of the Wild, GameCube launched with Luigi's Mansion, so that was an outlier, right? But the GameCube didn't do that well either. So yeah, I think Nintendo knows that if you really need to have if you really want to put as many woods in the fire as you can at the beginning, you gotta launch with a Mario and Zelda. You got to,
Or at least the new Mario and maybe like better versions of Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom or something.
Yeah, if there is an ultra Tears of the Kingdom version or whatever, one with new features too, right? New features.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, maybe a new area, like a Bowser's Fury type of expansion.
That'd be cool.
Along with all the graphical upgrades, and like, oh my god, imagine if the draw distance in Tears of the Kingdom was amazing.
Better. Yeah.
I mean, it's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's good for the hardware. It's really good.
For the hardware, it was pretty fantastic. But imagine if it was like really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. I totally buy that game all over again.
Yeah. No questions for me there.
Yeah.
Micah, what do you want to see for a launch game?
Yeah, I think you guys answered what's plausible, like definitely a 3D Mario. What I want would be new Kirby game. I really liked Kirby in the Forgotten Land, so give me a new Kirby game. Give me a new Yoshi, crafted game. That's top of the list. That's actually my most wanted for a launch window game would be give me a new Yoshi's whatever. Maybe it's Yoshi's Watercolor World this time. I don't care. That Yoshi's crafted whatever is the next thing I really want from them. And of course, give me another Kirby game. I would love if they did like Kirby's Dream Course updated for the new Switch. I fucking love Kirby's Dream Course, and I think that would be something that really could make a big comeback. That would be like a pie in the sky dream game for them to come back with, and it would be something interesting for like old is new again type deal for a launch window game of we're gonna revamp an old beloved, at least to me, title and bring it to the new systems. So something Kirby, something Yoshi, those are my goals for the new Switch. That's what I really want at launch.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I gotta imagine Animal Crossing is going to be far away. Smash, we could hear something about, Gene, I guess. It's been a while. They could see something.
Sakurai did tour the museum already, too.
So they could be cooking on something like that. I don't know.
The museum is probably a level,
I'm just thinking about third-party releases, maybe, Gene. Maybe get that Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Final Fantasy VII Remake, yeah.
Or Switch 2 or something like that. I don't know. Lots of possibilities. Get some Resident Evil games on there. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Resident Evil. Come on.
Yeah, man.
We have Resident Evil. Yeah, Resident Evil 2 and 3 would be great. And 4. The remakes.
Yeah, the remakes.
Yeah, for sure. Village. Yeah, proper Village. And they probably would do that because Resident Evil seems to be showing up in every single console launch these days. Remember,
Yeah.
it was there for Stadia. It was there for Luna. It's there for fucking Apple iPhone. It's at the fucking iPhone event. We'll probably have Death Stranding on the Switch, you know.
Dude,
Can I play Resident Evil on my Ouya? Is it on there?
No, sadly.
I don't think so. Sadly, no. Sadly, no. I think, Micah, I don't know if you saw me and Colin did a tier list for consoles. And I'm pretty sure we put Ouya in like the dog shit tier.
It's where it belongs.
Yeah.
I mean, I never actually had one. I really wanted one, like when it was new.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you hear like it sucks. But I remember people playing Star Wall on it, and I was like, "Oh my god, I want to play that!"
Yeah.
And it looked really cool. I was totally on board for the idea of it, but no, it wasn't actually a good console by any means.
Yeah. Damn. All right, this is from Great Saiyaman 88. Hey, PU gang. Imagine Nintendo brings you in to help them market the successor to the Switch. As thoughts of the blunder that was, the Wii U brings up Doug Bowser, or brought up Doug Bowser down in his quivering knees. He begs you to help them avoid causing the same confusion that made GameStop employees worldwide want to choke on the nearest bargain bin Funko Pop. How does Nintendo make their new device without causing confusion about which games are exclusive to the new Switch? Is it as simple as NES to Super NES? Thanks. All right.
Yes.
Micah. Gene, Doug Bowser is begging, yes, on his hands and knees, crying. Help us market this so it's not confusing. Are we going, Gene, just the Super Switch route? Think that's good enough?
Yes.
Okay. Micah, what do you think?
I think it's a good system. Just sell games on it. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree because I am thinking back to the 3DS. And so you had the 3DS and the 3DS XL. And then they came out with the new 3DS, the new 3DS XL. And it was just like, it's easy enough as, well, the box says it's playable only on the new 3DS. And yet it was simple, easy peasy, maybe confusing if you were a grandma. But right. I think even parents could understand that if yours is the new one, it can play it. And if it's not, it can't. I think it could be truly as simple as this is a Super Switch game and the box will say compatible with Switch and Super Switch, or it'll say playable only on Super Switch. As long as we make it like a definitive thing, like Wii to Wii U, it didn't necessarily sound like the Wii U was the next console, as Gene mentioned. It didn't necessarily sound like this was an upgrade. It just was like, well, what's the Wii U? What is it? But putting something as simple as like a Switch to Super Switch, Switch to new Switch, whatever they want to do, I think that is enough to differentiate it. They've done it before with the 3DS. So I felt like that was easy enough.
You know what I do? I think I would just call it Switch 2. Because I feel like all of their hardware from now on is just going to be different versions of Switch. I can't see them not doing a hybrid anymore just because it was so successful for them. So, because like I like Super Switch, that is the coolest name by far. But where do you go from Super Switch? Do you go to like Ultra Switch, Super Switch 64? I don't know.
No, you know what? We need numbers next. Then it'll be Switch 360. No. 360.
No.
And we're going to do 720. We're going to do what Xbox didn't.
Xbox
was too pussy to do 720.
That's why whoever decided to call it the PlayStation 2 deserves all the flowers, because the PlayStation 2 was named before iPhone ever came out. Yeah, so it's not like PlayStation is copying iPhone when it comes to like iPhone 3 or iPhone couldn't even figure it out in the first place. They were like iPhone, and then iPhone 3G, and then iPhone 3GS, and then iPhone 4. They're like, oh, I guess we can just. They eventually settle on the numerical convention. Nintendo is lucky that they've been successful as they have been, despite the fact that they have a console called the new Nintendo 3DS XL. You know, Nintendo's very lucky in doing that. Xbox hasn't been so lucky. You know, it's very stupid that there's an Xbox and then the Xbox 360 and then the Xbox 360S, and then the Xbox One, and then the Xbox One S, and then the Xbox One X, and then the Xbox Series S, and then the Xbox Series X. Especially since Xbox Series S games, the Xbox Series S will not play Xbox One X games. It will only play Xbox One S games.
Yes, it's very confusing.
Ugh.
So I just like keeping it clean with numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. People can understand that. Like Gene said, Apple does it. People understand it. PlayStation does it. People understand it. And like if you ever just want to go crazy in a different route, you just make a new name for a system like that. If it's not going to be like the Switch DNA, I guess. And yeah, Switch 2, people will know what it is right away, in my opinion. All right, this is from Haru Discourse. Hey, oh wait, hold on. Yeah, okay. Hey, Punch Uppers. Have any of you played a Chibi Robo game? Some of the creators of Chibi Robo launched a Kickstarter for a spiritual successor, and it got me thinking about the original GameCube game again. The OG Chibi Robo is a childhood favorite game of mine, and I was surprised when I found out how niche it was. Chibi Robo. I have not played Chibi Robo. My old coworker, Daniel Bloworth, loved Chibi Robo, though, so I've seen it, but I have actually never played it. Gene, what about you? Have you played Chibi Robo?
Nope. Can't really say I have. Definitely past me. I did have a GameCube, but I was pretty tapped out of the GameCube in terms of all the different games. I really bought the GameCube for Metroid Prime and Wind Waker. That's about it, you know. So yeah, then Colin talks about growing out of Nintendo, but I mean Nintendo just lost him. Nintendo very almost nearly lost me. It's pretty dangerous out there.
Yeah.
Xbox has lost me now at this point,
Sure. Yeah. What about you, Micah? Chibi Robo? Any experience?
I didn't actually like it, but Chibi Robo Ziplash on 3DS, I did have and tried, but it wasn't a game I really enjoyed. I don't think it was super well received either, but I did try it out. That was my first time ever hearing of Chibi Robo, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll give this a shot. I just wasn't into the gameplay. I don't remember thinking it was bad. I just wasn't into it. But I then looking back on it, it's like I don't think it was super well received at the time, except maybe by like diehard fans who were just really wanted one. It's neat to see though that they're doing this Kickstarter campaign to try and revive what they were making, but it's not something that I'm gonna be excited for.
The 3DS one, Micah, you're talking about, not really received well by anyone, according to Metacritic, though. 59 from reviewers, 5.0 from users.
Oh, because I remember, so I'm it's coming back to me. I bought it as a Christmas present for my boyfriend at the time, and he did really like it. And then I was like, oh, I'll give it a try. And then I was like, I do not like this. I do not want this. But he did like it. We got the set that came with like the little amiibo. And so it was a neat little set, cute little amiibo to have. I remember him really enjoying it. So I knew like critically it wasn't good, but I was like, maybe the fans liked it. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe we were just weird.
Yeah, I saw the GameCube one was like a full 3D game and stuff like that. This 3DS one is like a 2D side scroller kind of one.
Yes.
But I always wanted to play it. One day, perhaps. I think there's an amiibo also of Chibi Robo, which is pretty cool.
Exactly. That's the set that we had, was the boxed set that came with the amiibo and the game.
Oh,
and so it made a nice Christmas presentation. It was like, that was nice. A sweet Christmas present to get. Pick that up at GameStop, I assume. But yeah, disappointing to look back on it in hindsight of, I was super stoked about it, but did not like it.
Yeah. Damn. All right, final question from Ding Dong. Hello, Box Pounders.
Oh.
I'm going to visit my brother in Texas, and I'm borrowing my friend's Switch. The flight from Georgia is roughly 2 to 3 hours. Do you have any recommendations? I haven't played any Nintendo games since Pokemon Fire / Red on GBA. I'm thinking of buying the Mario and Rabbids games, either one. Also, are there any problems with playing offline on a plane? If you're playing physical games, no way. You don't have to worry about anything problems. If the only way you're going to experience problems offline, I think, is if you like share your Switch account with someone else in your household. Mm-hmm. I've run into that issue, but if you're playing anything physical, you'll be fine. But I'm sure you're not going to be doing that anyway, so you'll probably be okay. What do you think about his what he's considering? Mario and Rabbids.
I mean, is 3 hours
Mario
enough
Rabbids.
to like get into it?
I don't know.
Sorry, Micah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was asking Gene, is that enough time to get into it? It's like having 3 hours total to play.
You're
is
right.
That enough time to really do the meat of the game?
You're right, because the tutorial is basically kind of like the first area, and I think that part takes about 2-3 hours. So if you're maybe that could help on a flight. Maybe if you're learning something the whole way, then that could make things feel a lot more engaged or whatever like that. But just keep that in mind that Mario and Rabbids will be tutorial heavy in the first few hours. So if that's something that you think will keep your mind busy, then go for it. But if not, then I would recommend, I don't know, Doom or something. So
what about you, Micah? What are you recommending?
Our last flight, I played a ton of Vampire Survivors.
Vampire Survivors.
And that was the perfect, like, I mean, it's a mobile style game.
Yes.
That was the perfect plain game. Pause. It was just like pick up and play type game. So the rounds are pretty quick in the first place. At least they are when you're me, because I die a lot. But even so, like the maximum time is going to be what, like 30 minutes, like per round. Like it's just round. Like. Yeah, so
get 4 games in, right? And the trip's over, right?
Right. It's really fun. There's a ton of information online to get started if you are struggling like I did. Once I read a guide, I actually like figured it out and got much better at the game. I just was too stubborn. But Vampire Survivors was like the perfect in-flight game for me. And also too, just because you kind of die frequently, it didn't bother me if it's like, all right, it's time to get off the plane. I just gotta, shut this off. It wasn't like I lost, 3 hours of levels or whatever. It's just easy peasy little mobile style game there.
I think I would recommend Super Mario Wonder. An excellent game, really easy to get into. You're gonna get the basics right away. Just super fun, an excellent game that gets you into the action very quickly. And yeah, I just think it's like one of the best Switch games too. I always associate Link's Awakening with like plane rides too. I don't know why. Maybe because I've played it on vacation a couple of times. It might be a little more challenging because you got to figure some stuff out. But yeah, Super Mario Wonder is, I guess, mine. I'd take that. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for this episode of Punching Up. We are done. Hopefully, what I'm hoping next time we shoot this show is, I'm hoping we're gonna get some info on that. There was always rumored Nintendo Directs, because we are thirsty for some Nintendo news. Feed us, Miyamoto. Please let's bask in your glory. Let's see some of that Switch stuff. We need some more stuff to talk about here.
I mean, PlayStation's been pretty dry too. There's not. I mean, Astrobot's coming out in a couple of weeks,
and Concord just came out.
Concord just came out, so there's plenty. I guess there's plenty to talk about there. I'm trying to save Concord. I'm out there playing Concord, man.
Yeah, Gene's playing.
You know what's funny about playing Concord right now in this moment in time, or I guess ever, probably for the rest of Concord's lifespan, is that there are so few players that it genuinely feels like a LAN party, because because I'm running into like game journalists playing it,
Yeah.
So it feels like a review period, like I shouldn't be running into like a Gizmodo reporter in a multiplayer game, but there it is.
People just got free codes.
Yeah, and I see other PlayStation influencers. They're saying, "Yeah, I see Jay Barry and Persona Speaks there all the time," and it's like the other PlayStation podcasters are the ones playing this. It's hilarious, but yeah, PlayStation. There's not a lot to talk about PlayStation 2. It's only Xbox because Phil Spencer can't shut the fuck up. So
Yeah. I mean, we got Nintendo games coming out next month, but not before the next episode.
Yeah,
we got Zelda coming up, so. That'd be delightful.
But yeah, Phil Spencer's the only executive out of all three of them that is just making news and just talking stuff. So it just feels like they're so busy in the Xbox side because they can't shut the fuck up. Meanwhile, Herman Hulse has little Britney Spears headphone, behind that white counter in the investor meetings, and Nintendo just doesn't say shit. They'll tweet, "This is Miyamoto," and we got to deal with that for a few months.
Yeah. All right. Any final words before we go? Micah, anything you'd like to say? Or should we just get out of here?
I got to throw out this real quick. When I did the Oregon Trail run recently, and Brad was in the party that didn't make it, but Brad turned evil at one point, and I didn't tweet this because I reloaded the save because it was such a catastrophic loss. Brad, you got hungry and you destroyed 75 pounds of our food. And it was such a catastrophic loss of supplies that I actually was like, I need to reload that save. Like, we're fucked. And what happened was I had just left a fort. And so all I needed to do was switch the rations up higher because we had just resupplied. But like in the moment before I did that, you were like, I'm so hungry. And it was like, Brad destroyed 75 pounds of food. And I was like, what? Like, you can't do this to us. Like, we're going to die. Now, your party died anyways, Brad. I'm sorry. I didn't know what I was doing. Gene died first. So we felt real bad.
That's probably how it's going to happen.
But evil Brad came out.
Yeah, evil Brad. Gene, any final words before we go?
No, I guess I'll see you guys all in the other side in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll have more news and we can talk about other stuff, including Emio and Zelda. So
yes, sir. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening and watching. We appreciate it. We will see you guys next episode. Take care, everybody. Keep punching those bricks. Goodbye.
Punching Up, a Nintendo podcast, is a product of Last Stand Media and Collins Last Stand, LLC, and is proudly recorded in the USA. The show is written and produced by me, Dustin Furman. My co-hosts are Gene Park, Dagan Moriarty, and Micah Watson. The show is edited by associate producer Ben Smith. All of Last Stand's theme music is by Ramon Narvaez. Punching Up, along with the rest of Last Stand Media shows, are fan-funded on Patreon at patreon.com/laststandmedia. The following names are at the producer level on Patreon, our highest tier, and we're grateful for your kind contributions and generosity to our independent endeavor. Thank you.